what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. Why we always looking for more? Why we always looking for more? Why we always looking for more?
Good evening, everyone, wherever you're watching across Australia, New Zealand, or right around the world. This is AGT ACC, the Season 2 finale here at Valencia. The entire season we kicked off in May. It's been building up to this moment, and I, for one, am extremely excited. G'day, pleasure to have you here. My name, of course, is Isaac Fogarty, and I'm joined today not by Trevor Byers. He unfortunately is feeling a little bit under the weather. He is floating around this evening. But I am in the commentary box this evening with Mr. George Cook. George, you've done a couple rounds this season. It's a pleasure to have you back for this final round.
Yeah, cheers, man, and always appreciate an exaggeration. I think it was one round that I've done this season. I think it was the TrackSpotTV challenge. But it is great to be back in the commentary box. Yeah, Trevor's come down with a very rough case of the Spanish flu, and unfortunately, he's been eating too many of those street side tacos, picked up a bug, and he's not able to talk at all. But he is doing the broadcasting, so you are technically seeing Trevor Byers. Circuit Ricardo Tormo, fantastic place to go racing. Love it. 4 kilometers, 14 turns. It's sharp, it's short, it's furious, and it's the finale.
It certainly is, and yeah, big shout out to Trevor Byers for continuing to push through the illness to run the broadcast this evening. We're very grateful. But yes, as you mentioned, you were in for the round at Bathurst, and that was the only other sprint round we've had, or sprint feature round, I should say, we've had this season. But we'll get into that in just a moment. Let's have a look at the calendar we had this season, where we kicked things off, what got us to this moment. Obviously, round 1 was the Italian job all the way back at the start of May, if you can believe. Here we are at the end of August. That was a 60-minute race, and Matt Dernedde took out the race win, and that one opened up his account very well and foreshadowed what was an amazing campaign from our champion-elect. Then round 2, it was in fact postponed. It was the Spanish Super Sprint. We had to go and have another crack at it. That got moved to the 4th of July. That was a 2 30-minute sprint rounds, very action-packed racing as well. And then round 3 was the Silverstone Clash, our second hour race of the season. That was all the way back on the 23rd of May, the 60-minute race. Round 4 was the King of the Ring in Austria, and Braden Henderson stamped his mark on the field when he took out both races in that, his first time in the pro class, and announced himself to the world of AGT very authoritatively. And then round 5 was our first of the Enduros, the American Grand Prix at Watkins Glen. That was taken out by Josh Struick after setting the exact same time as Simon Bishop in the top 10 shootout. What a top 10 shootout that was. Round 6 took us to the round that you were featuring in the commentary box for, George Cook, the TrackSpotTV Challenge, our first ever foray into the sprint feature format, reverse top 10, 30-minute sprint race, and then a normal grid for a 60-minute race with a stop required. Round 7 took us to our community vote round, which was the Nordschleife, if you can believe, and that was a challenging round in and amongst itself, but a great night, and Braden Henderson took that one out as well for his 3rd win of the season. Then round 8, what a race that was at Spa. Came down to the final lap when Matt Dernedde passed Simon Bishop for the win. I'm pretty sure my internet gave up after watching them cross the line with how exciting that action was, but it was an absolutely brilliant piece of film, and definitely go back and watch that if you haven't already. Round 9, the round not long just gone, was the American Super Sprint Laguna Seca, our final Super Sprint round of the season, and that was where Matt Dernedde secured the championship that he now will receive following the action tonight. And our standings, if we have a look coming into this round, is Matt Dernedde, 318 points clear. No one can touch him now, not even Simon Bishop. If Matt Dernedde scores no points tonight, he is still champion. 275 is the maximum that's on offer this evening. Adam Gray, though, is being hunted down by Max Silver. 88 points is the gap between the class Pro-Am Class Championship. 119 points back for Bob Norley. Mathematically still in it, but we don't know. We'll keep a close eye on that. Anything could happen, though. It's Valencia. We've never been here before. Anything could happen. And what I'm looking at, Mr. George Cook, the AM class, 2 points between the Kiwi pit lane teammates.
Yeah, this is huge. The AM class is the class to be keeping an eye on today. There is still a battle for second and third in pro. Simon Bishop's got to do this good defense against Josh Struick from TTR Southside. There isn't a huge amount in there, so 42 points. And this is an incident pro and circuit at the end of the day. You got turn 12, which will launch you into space. You got the entry through turn 1, can run you wide, invalidate your laps during qualifying. Turn 2, 3, 4 is this windy, tight S section. It's really tricky, and then watch out for the dive bombs at the last corner. So anything can happen here today, and we've seen Simon Bishop. His races have come apart on a couple of times throughout this season, so he needs to have a clean one today just to be, you know, within that shooting distance of Josh Struick to deny him that second place in pro. Pro-Am's going to be great too. I mean, as long as Max Silver finishes him with a reasonable distance from Adam Gray, you should see him basically secure second and Adam Gray secure first, but we shall see. But yeah, AM class 2 points, and then only 71 back to Matt Boyd.
Yeah, it's super close, it's super tight. And speaking of super close, our team's championship, it's not super close for the overall champion in the teams. TP Motorsports have a fairly healthy lead, but TTR Westside, TTR Southside, 13 points between them, so that's pretty close for second and third. And then if you have a little bit of a look, 7th all the way through to 10th is about 30 points separating, 31 to be exact, George Cook, between 7th to 10th. So one bad night or a little bit of a struggle for any of those drivers, and we could see a big swing and jump up to 7th quite easily.
Yeah, you don't want to say that they're fighting over breadcrumbs, because they're not. 7th to 10th is still a very respectable place to finish in a team's championship, especially with the level of competitiveness there has been throughout Season 2 here on ACC PS5. So it's great to see that there's a real battle, a scrap for the bottom part of the top 10. It's still a valorous, honorable place to finish at the end of the day. CP Racing in the hot seat for that one. Riley Nicholson, Nathan Hutton got to do a good job today, otherwise Cactus Racing is right there. Defy might be a little bit more defiant today in their defense, just to make sure they don't let people pass. So if Max Silver and Adam Joy can do a good job, they might find themselves moving the team up to 7th.
Yeah, absolutely. They've been at 7th place. They were a staple of that 7th place throughout the season. And then a couple of rough results for Adam Joy led them to drop down the points a little bit, but there's plenty of opportunity for them to come back today. Speaking of today, let's have a look where we're at. We're not too far away from qualifying, so we'll get through this relatively quickly. It is round 10. The finale. We're here at Valencia in Spain. They've let us back in again. The Spanish government is slowly coming around to us, George. They're letting us in more and more each time. They're more welcoming this time, which has been great. 30-minute reverse top 10 sprint race, and then a 60-minute feature race with a mandatory stop. The racing tonight is going to be incredible.
It certainly is. It does seem a little bit like we're a little bit cursed at Spain. I mean, the first Spanish round, Spanish Super Sprint, the Spanish Super Flu, maybe postponed. We rescheduled it. We went there again. Someone wasn't particularly well. We won't name names, but then another person has found themselves sick as we head back to Spain. So I don't know what's happening. It's the street tacos or something like that. It's the tapas. I don't know what it is. It's something that we're eating or something in the water. I'm not sure, but Valencia will provide some incredible racing today. You really got to keep an eye on the first run down to turn 1 and turn 2. It's going to be absolutely critical. These guys will be going to be going into their side-by-side. Big opportunities for 2nd, 4th, 6th place to grab that inside line and maybe dive it down the inside at turn 2.
Yeah, well, we'll have a look now, if you can, at our track map. You're the man with the stats around here. George Cook, talks through, you've given us a little bit of a teaser as to what a lap looks like around here, but just talk us through what we can expect from watching our drivers here today.
It's going to be fantastic. 4 kilometers, that's 2.488 miles, long pitch straight, and we barreled down halfway through is about where things are at. But turn 1, it's curved at Aspire. It's a fantastic place to go racing. Run out wide, watch out for invalidations during quali. Through the S's section, 2, 3, 4, Terrell, named after a motorcyclist. 5, 6, Nito. Very difficult double apex curve as you barrel down the hill towards Martinez in turn 8, 9, 10. Through Masia, very tricky late part. And here we go, Herreros. You've got to be a bit of a hero, a champion, so to speak, as you head through there, because you're going to send yourself to the space program. 13 opportunities to dive down the inside under the brakes and through Campos for that last corner, the pit entry. Just to the right as you enter the final part of the lap. It is a great place to go racing, and it is a 238-meter run down to that first corner.
Well, it's a very long run down to that first quarter, and it's going to be super exciting once we see the cars released under green flag conditions for the first time. But I think we are into qualifying now, so we might jump over to the circuit, check out what is happening at the moment. 7 minutes and 23 seconds left to go in this qualifying session. It is Simon Bishop, the man that has it all to do to hold on to second in this championship, sitting on provisional pole at the moment. Matt Dernedde, our champion-elect, the man that will take the number 1 off the man on your screen, is sitting in second. Just having a look, John Shepherd is 4th place. It says he's an M-Class driver. Again, I don't think that's exactly accurate. He's definitely not an M-Class driver in my book. But Adam Gray, crucially, he's just jumped up to 4th place, and that's huge for him trying to hold on to that Pro-Am championship.
Yeah, massive. And it's a good lap time too, only 0.5 a second away from Simon Bishop. And a lap like this, you know, it is short. So we're expecting to see these gaps be relatively small. It's not like it's going to be the Nordschleife where we saw a couple of seconds between a lot of the drivers. It is only 1 second gap between the top 14 right now, and after that it's not even up to 2 seconds gap. So going to be a really close qualifying. Watching the 57 now head through this midsection, tricky part of the corner here. Let's see if he can nail the second apex. Does hit the first, but the Ford seems to favor getting on the power sooner and just running wider of that apex.
Yeah, the Ford likes the wide line around this circuit, especially fast flowing circuits. Going to the apex is not always the best way to maximise your speed. We've got a couple of people going on in the chat at the moment. A few people saying get well, Trev. So Trev is listening at the moment. I'm sure he definitely appreciates that. We do hope that he gets well soon. Nasty Spanish flu has caught him out again. Fat Furby in the chat. That is Adam Joy, who's not racing tonight. John Shepherd is actually in the Defy Motorsports car this evening in his place. So he has a broken race seat, Adam Joy. So he went to push on the brake pedal last night during practice and just sort of laid down almost with the seat just not being able to sit up straight. So very frustrating for him. Shame he's missing the final round, but hopefully we'll see him back for the Porsche Cups that we have coming up in a few weeks' time.
Not an ideal thing. I mean, you're putting as much pressure onto that brake. At some point, you are going to go, well, whatever the path of least resistance is, and then, you know, Isaac Newton's theories of kinetic energy start to take over, and you will put yourself backwards through your seat at some point. Absolutely gutted for him. It's not the most cheap thing to replace, let's just put it that way. Can be very tricky. Looking around the grid here, we've got Horvath in 25th place. I believe that is 33 drivers on the grid at the moment, and only 5 minutes left. This is going to be tight at the end, I think.
It's going to be very tight at the end, which is what we have seen a lot throughout this season. We've seen super close qualifying times, and none other than the last time where it's on any race circuit, which was Laguna Seca. There was 500 to the second between the top 5 and qualifying. I don't know if we're going to see quite that tonight, considering how long this circuit is been longer than Laguna Seca, at 4 kilometres of connection. But I think we're seeing less than a second between the top, 15 drivers at the moment, with Josh Gordon catching up to 15th place. So pretty competitive.
Pretty competitive indeed, and it's a tricky circuit to get familiar with at the end of the day. These drivers have got to do a lot of work around here. You can take so many different lines, and it comes down purely to what you feel comfortable on, what your setup is doing, and what the car's natural aptitude is at a circuit like this. I have a lot of experience in the McLarens and the Ferraris around this circuit. They're great to drive around here, but getting the power down out of some of these corners, it feels like you're driving slow. But you're usually not. The slower you're going, the better the exit angle, and that's really what matters, because that's where you're going to make up the time on this in these infield sort of S section that we go through.
Yeah, this is through this sort of this middle stretches, contrast to a few that we've been at this season, which just sort of rely on straight line speed or just throwing it into the corner. This you really have to sort of build up a technical flow. There's corners you need to link together, and if you get it wrong, then it can come back to bite you. There's track limits to worry about, which we've had at most circuits, but I think here more when you're trying to chain a series of corners together, carry as much speed as possible, it's just a little bit easier to run a bit wide and validate what track limits, which is what I'm sure our drivers will be finding tonight as they come back to.
Yeah, I consider myself a relatively consistent driver when I'm behind the wheel, but I tell you what, I've been more consistent at running wide at turn 1 here than any other circuit, and it's one of those really frustrating things. Yeah, barrel into turn 1, you know there's a lot of speed there because you can run out wide onto that green strip and not get an invalidation, but when you do push it ever so slightly too much, that's it, and your whole lap's gone. You're just wasting minutes and minutes and minutes. It is a very frustrating circuit to get really, really good at. We're currently looking at Simon Bishop on your screen, still sitting there with a 130.7, coming into the infield section now through Martinez. Circuit Ricardo Torno, of course, named after the motorcyclist, traditionally a motorcycle track here, though Formula E has been here 2018, 2019, and now from 2021 onwards. Full Formula E track, which is fantastic, 65,000 capacity at this circuit, and yeah, some fantastic racing at this place, always has been.
Hopefully that trend will continue this evening. As told my mic's a little bit quiet, we'll make sure we get that turned up and fixed up right away. Thank you, Mike, Mum, for letting us know. And we appreciate you guys tuning in at home, watching along. We've got less than 2 minutes left in this qualifying session. Simon Bishop, provisional pole as it stands. That man is currently on your screen. And Matt Dernedde, champion-elect, is in second. Cameron Fleming in the McLaren is third. Typically this season, you would have seen Cameron Fleming in a BMW. He requested a change for tonight only and was granted it, provided he doesn't score teams points. It technically counts as a wild card entry. So he is serving as a wild card this evening, not necessarily representing BCG as he has in the past. And he sits third at the moment. And then it's James Machin on the second row of the grid as well. Remember, these results will be reversed for the sprint race. So as it stands at the moment, it is Bob Worley that will be on pole for the sprint race. The man that is hunting down Adam Gray, one of the men that is hunting down Adam Gray for that Pro-Am Championship, is starting on pole, and track position I think will be key here tonight.
It's going to be scary for him to be starting at the top of a sprint race where it's no bars held at the end of the day. All the guys behind you who are the fastest guys on the grid are going to be absolutely going for it. They're going to be sending it. And at a track like this, there is not a lot of places to really send it. So I expect to see Norley probably get shuffled out at the last corner. He might make it through a lap, and this is no offense to him whatsoever. Equal times for 8th and 9th, Josh Green and Nick Carter going absolutely dead even. I think they're both probably heading to the pits, but that is fantastic to see. Yeah, going to be a fantastic one. And also, go Fleming. Yeah, changing to the McLaren. Who cares about the points? Go and have some fun. He's my man for tonight.
We kick over to zero, and for those of you that don't know, George Cook, very unbiased and not at all a McLaren fan. So I'm sure he'll give some very, very insightful commentary on all cars this evening, but nonetheless the McLaren as well. So he's a big McLaren supporter. Drops to 4th, and he's in the pit lane. So that'll be it for Cameron Fleming's session. That will do him. Let's have a look. Who's still out on track? Who's trying to settle up? Josh Green, is he still out there? Liam Tame jumps up to 8th and gets himself into the top 10, gets himself on the second row of the grid for the sprint race at this stage. It is Nick Carter that now sits on the provisional pole. Who's still yet to settle up though? Nick Carter is rolling around. Is Bob Morley still going? What about Max Silver, the 75 car? What is he doing at the moment? On a lap maybe, trying to find some time. Who's got something left in the tank? Josh Gruick though, crucially I'm noticing, 15th place at the moment, which is huge, considering he's the man that is looking to catch Simon Bishop for second place in this championship. So a bit of a struggle so far for Josh Gruick in this session. Not what you want to see. Some setup changes maybe coming his way. Here we go. Pointy end of the session. What can Matt Dernedde do? Can he knock off? No, he can't. He's crossed the line. Stays in second. Who is still left on the circuit to set a time? Les Sandwick crosses the line. And I think most that might be it. It is it. So there is our qualifying results, and how our grid will look for this first race will be Josh Green on pole position, followed by Liam Tame. So Josh Green and Liam Tame share the front row. Then John Shepherd, Adam Gray, Nick Carter, Braden Henderson, Cameron Fleming, James Machin, Matt Dernedde, and Simon Bishop is your top 10. And then the way you see it now is how it will look for our feature race later on. What a qualifying session, George Cook. But I'm just noticing Josh Struick, not the session he would have wanted despite having that fastest last sector.
Yeah, I was going to say the purple to his name in Sector 3 is definitely a little bit of a token he can write home about. But interestingly, that the Sector purples are actually split between our top 3 in the Pro Championship. So almost no surprise there. But it was that second sector of his that he was just miles off in terms of the time. I think he was at least 0.4 or 0.5, and that's a big part of what's dropped him back in a reasonably average Sector 1. So, you know, he's just not found the pace at the beginning of the circuit. And that's just going to be to his detriment at the end of the day. And, you know, starting in that position, way down a 19th place for the driver who's, I believe, at the moment in 3rd in the championship, this is really dashes hopes for jumping Simon Bishop in this. And Simon Bishop will be starting towards the front row of the grid. Of course, I think at the top of the grid, sorry, for the 60-minute race where we have one mandatory pit stop. He'll be 10th, of course, starting on the 30-minute race, which we have coming up in a few moments' time. But crikey, I mean, Simon Bishop couldn't have wanted anything better. And I think Hurley as well is going to be thanking the lucky stars that he's starting 11th and not first place.
Yeah, I certainly think Josh Green will be very nervous at the moment to start on pole position. But I believe, George Cook, we now turn our attention to the fact we have a special guest in the commentary box. It is none other than the champion-elect, Matthew Dernedde.
Indeed. So I will be taking us through this interview while our legendary admin and AGT ACC leader Isaac goes and sorts out the race and the qualifying order, the reverse top 10 for the 30 minutes, and all the remaining good stuff in the background. Matt, welcome in. Congratulations on the overall win this season. You're the champion of Season 2. How you feeling?
Still doesn't quite feel like it yet, in all honesty. It's, you know, one more race to go, but it's good. I mean, came to this season really nervous. I knew I had a decent-ish chance after the end of Season 1, and it's a bit of luck and all that sort of good stuff, but it's good to get it done.
Yeah, you seem to have had the luck in the right places throughout the season. I'm not going to say that your season win was as a result of luck. You know, you've been right up there. You've been battling with Struick. You've been battling with Bishop and battling with whoever else has decided to be quick at a particular circuit. Was there a mentality that evolved throughout the season, or a point you got to where you thought, yeah, I can do this?
Winning the first race was probably the biggest one, because being my first win, of course, so you get that off your shoulders and you know you can sort of do it from then on. So following that, it was mainly just try and be on the podium as much as we can and see where the season ends up, and end up in quite a good way, fortunately.
Absolutely, yeah. No, Season 2 championship is under your belt, and you've done it by over 318 points. Well, we'll see what the exact total is, of course, after this race. Speaking of this race, it feels like a bit of a mute point in some ways. Some people would say, why even bother show up? But I know you're the kind of guy that wants to finish on a high note. So what's the plans today?
You know, in the what do you want to call it? The unique position where I can just sort of have a good send and just see where it ends, and no sort of pressure on the thing. It's just have a go and see what happens. So the reverse grid, I'm gonna get my teeth in and see how high up we can get, and then it's just mainly just have a bit of fun, really. Race the guys. I really enjoy racing. You know, Simon, Josh, all those sorts of guys. It's not very often you can race someone that quick and in that sort of close proximity so cleanly. So it's always a bit of a pleasure. Absolutely.
And, you know, I think at the end of the day, you're starting to probably creep into the general public's view as one of those alien drivers. I mean, Season 2 AGT under your belt. You know, I've seen you race in a number of leagues. I've commentated on your racing for a number of leagues, and I've seen you grow and seen you evolve. Have you reached a peak? Is this the peak? Is there more?
I don't think you ever really reach a peak. I think that'd be the wrong mentality to have, in all honesty. I'm always learning. You know, whether it be from the sprint races here or the enduro stuff I do with the BCG guys. You know, I take the mentality of, you know, if you find someone's quicker than you, you know, learn from them. And I don't think you ever really stop learning, to be honest.
So talk to us a little bit about the CP Motorsports environment. You've been driving with Aidan Holton all season long. You guys are leading the championship at the moment. Obviously, there's not a full conclusion to the team's championship right now, so you're out there driving to see what happens, but also for the team, tell us a little bit about CP and driving with Aidan.
Oh, I mean, there's only good things to say. You know, Aidan is he's had a bit of the raw end of the stick this season. I feel like he's had every incident that he could have got involved in, he's been into. So it's been a bit of a shame to see that happen. But he's still, you know, he's pulled through. He's gotten points where he can. He's had a few back of the grid starts where he's missed quali and he's come through and still scored big points, which, you know, without him, we're not going to be in this sort of position, you know. So, and also we've had a few reserve drivers as well. I can't remember them off the top of my head, but all those guys have really, you know, put in the hard work and made this possible. I think, like you say, it's not completely done, but we're in a pretty strong position. I think it'd have to be fairly disastrous to go wrong from here.
Absolutely, and we do actually have someone from CP joining us in the comms box, so we'll turn this from a single interview to a double interview. CP Greeny, welcome into the comms box, mate.
Thanks,
how are you
Josh.
feeling
Thanks,
today?
Yeah, good. A bit of a last-minute call-up to drive the second car tonight, and I'm looking forward to it. On pole position for the sprint pole, so yeah, I'm quite nervous.
Yeah, that's right. So I think there was Hurley who was in 10th place for quite well, the majority of the qualifying, and then you might have just got ahead of him, and I think he's praying to his lucky stars that he's now not starting in first place. You know, as a driver that maybe doesn't, you know, get ahead of Bishop and all that on a regular basis, how are you going to approach the race today?
Just hit my marks, hit my lines. If someone wants to get racy, I won't stop them. Yeah, I just want to have a good, clean race and just keep my nose clean and just have fun with it.
Expect the dive bomb down to the last corner, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Anticipating someone.
I may defend a little bit there, but yeah, we'll see how we go.
Fair enough. Yeah, you can always just hold up the grid and let someone else overtake the fast guys.
Yeah, that's
hug
it.
that inside line, that'd be fun. Talk to us a little bit about the season, CP Motorsports, and Matt Dernedde and his achievement this season.
Yeah, so coming together was sort of like P2 last year with the Pro-Am with Matty. We got the car that he wanted, which was awesome. And then I've invested a little bit in the setups and trying to help the boys when I can, but it's really just been Matty just coming into his own, adapting to the game, and he's really just stayed consistent, hit his marks, done exactly what he needed, and with Muffin as well coming through and just being an absolute awesome second driver, just Mr. Consistent. It's been a good season. The boys have just absolutely nailed it, and I couldn't be more stoked for them.
Talk to us a little bit about the setup and the prep, because obviously this plays a larger part in the game like ACC than probably people realize. What's the preparation? What's the weekly or the bi-weekly ins and outs of the operation that you guys are running with in the team?
Yeah, so when I have a little bit of time, I'll go through a few of the setups that I have and try and get the best ones for the boys and send them through. And if I make any changes, sometimes I'll do pitch strategies. I have been a bit slack the later rounds because I've gotten a little bit comfortable and realised Matty's got a bit of a win, so I don't need to step in as much. But really, it's they've done it all themselves. Really, they've nailed the setups, they've nailed everything, and yeah, we've just had a good team, good communication, good rapport, even with our second team as well. Like, everything's been really good in our Discord, a lot of helping each other, and I think that's what's brought the best out of all of us as drivers, is just the morale that we have within the team environment.
Yeah, it's a huge aspect of it. And another aspect, of course, is the car. You know, the CP Motorsports main team running the BMW this season, and I'll bring Matt in for this as well to comment and see what you guys think. Overall, how do you think? What was the decision-making process behind the BMW for the season?
I was in the Aston, I think, if I recall correctly, for season 1, and I was also doing a bit of learning of the game at the same time. So I don't think I got the best out of the Aston, in all honesty. But I was looking at the M4 in the hands of course, Bishop and all those sorts of guys. I'm like, I'd really like to get my hands on that. At least that way I know I'm being compared, you know, directly to the best guys, you know. So I wanted to jump in that car and see how I fared. And it's not always been easy. The M4 is a lot more temperamental than I was expecting. Once it falls out of its setup window, it's a bit of a pig, to be honest. But look, for the most part, it's a great car. It's easily one of the top cars in ACC, and I think that's shown. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. But just quietly, I don't think you'll see me in it next season.
Ooh, very interesting. Okay, you're going to join the McLaren ranks, and I'll be a even bigger fan of yours than I already am.
Oh, it won't be the McLaren. I won't let too much on, but it won't be the McLaren.
Okay, all right. Fair enough. CP, you going to jump into a McLaren next season?
Oh, I would love to. I love the McLaren, but really it's up to the boys and we'll work in, we'll see how it goes. But who knows, stranger things have happened.
For sure, yeah. So the BMW is one of those beasts that you have to tame the understeer because it will tend to do that. Is it all been about setup or has it been about adjusting your driving style?
A bit of both. A lot of setup work. I've done I've been sending a few of these setups with a few of the boys, and they sort of see what I'm driving. They go, "What are you doing? That shouldn't work." And I think the secret I've sort of come across, which I probably shouldn't be putting this out there, but I've just made the cars really pointy. So they're a bit hard to live with in the rear end, but at least that sort of gets that understeer out of the car. So that's what I've been sort of working with, and just adjusting to, as you know, like all the cars, different gear ratios. So working out which gears and all that sort of good stuff. And it's just a bit of a learning process. And I'm still sort of learning stuff as I keep going with it, to be honest.
So is there a CP at CP Motorsports? Is there an ecosystem of retaining the IP? Is Matt Dernedde voided his contract by exposing secrets?
Nah, no way. No, like we've always been happy to help anyone that's asked any questions about setups. Like, we're an open book. We always want to help out and get the most of, everyone around us, because the better our competition, the better it pushes us and the better we all get. So, and that's the main goal with, AGT, is to have like just a really good league of really good drivers, with the best of everything. Because then, there's no excuses then. You're an equal machinery. You have the same setups and, the best man wins.
Yep, so talk to us a little bit about the racing here at AGT. I've been watching all season long. I've only commentated this and the Bathurst race, but all the action I've seen has been absolutely fantastic. So give us some comments on season 2. Talk to us a little bit about the calendar, the setup of the races, the format of the races. We've had super sprints, enduros, regular formats, these sprint formats as well, where we have a reverse 10. It's a good mix.
Yeah, it's been really cool. We've trialled a few things out, and like every league, it's our second season, so it's all trial and error, and we've got a good bunch of blokes that are willing to try things out and adapt. And there's been some awesome tracks that we'll definitely go back to, and some that we're definitely going to put in a bin. But overall, the racing's been mad. The racing's been close. Especially with more drivers coming in this season. And once everyone kind of finds their little niche and gets into the cars that they want for next season, I expect it to be real competitive. It's going to be really good, and especially bringing in prize money into season 2 and really trying to give back to the drivers and the community is the best thing, because we all put in such big time and big hours into the rigs. And we've got some World Tour drivers, man. Like, they've got a crazy skill level, and they should be compensated for having such a good skill, I feel. And especially them joining the AGT League and helping push all the other drivers around them to be better. Like, that's what the whole point of AGT is just to really bring everyone together, push further, keep getting all the good drivers in, and just keep moving forward.
I think we're creating a lot of FOMO out there in the sim racing community, which is excellent. So for those of you who are interested, jump on over to Adrenaline GT YouTube. The Discord links are all in there. Get involved on the server and get yourself ready, because there will be, I believe, a Porsche Cup coming up, and then there'll be Season 3 planning, which is already underway. We're super excited for that. In chat, we've had Fat Furby say, shout out to Greenie, always sharing setups. So the community obviously appreciating that.
Thanks,
massively. So let's do a quick rundown here. Let's take our favorite track and our least favorite track. Matt, let's start with you.
Oh, that's a bit on the spot. Gee whiz. My least favorite track definitely has to be. Would it has to be from this season?
Yes, sorry, from this season.
Okay,
yes.
yeah, Austria, in the bin. Did not like it. I don't know what it was. I just didn't gel with Austria whatsoever. So I'd be glad not to see that one again. But from what I did see, the racing was quite good. So we'll probably expect to see it eventually, I'd imagine. And my favorite would have to be, I think, Laguna. I absolutely gelled with Laguna, something chronic. I loved it. It's just a really fun track. And once you get in a bit of a flow, it just continues to flow on itself. And it's just that second race there at Laguna when I was just trading fastest laps with Matty Simmons was really fun and pretty surreal to be driving against those sorts of dudes.
For sure. So I don't think Austria will be off the calendar because I know that Isaac is a big fan of that circuit, whether it's driving or watching. So we'll see what happens in season 3. CP, same. Greeny, what's your favourite and what's your least?
Well, no, I've been a bit of just like a little super reserve this season, so I've got a chance to jump in a few rounds. The worst round would have been the Lamborghini at Austria combo. I don't know what was happening, but I think would just, as soon as that rear end would go, it would step out, and I think I just had my worst ever race, like ever on ACC, and I was, not so much a track, but that combo, I would hate. And I didn't get to race Silverstone, but I love that track. I love Silverstone, and when I was testing some setups for the boys, I just found that track just to be so much fun.
Yeah, it is a fantastic place to go racing. So we have, of course, everyone in chat. Let us know your favorite and least favorite race of the AGT Season 2. For those of you who can't remember, I will at some point pull up a full list of the season tracks, but if you've been watching, then you'll know exactly what we're talking about. If you're in chat, if you've got any questions for Greeny or Matt Dernedde, please let us know. We've got Aussie Sim Racing in chat saying good luck all tonight. So for those of you who are just joining us, we've currently sent Isaac Fogarty to the ACC server room. He is getting rather cold in there because we run the server room nice and cold, but he is sorting out the qualifying order so that we have the reverse top 10 in a 30-minute race coming up, and then of course the 60-minute race with the one mandatory pit stop, which will be the normal quali order. I think we've got Nitro's mum saying Nürburgring, something to do with that. I'm not quite sure what, so I get the feeling I do know, but for sure that was a good round for Nitro's mum. Greeny, let's go to you first. Any shout-outs you'd like to make? Some thanks for those who've supported you guys this season.
Yeah, but a big shout out to Nitro's mum. She's always in the chat, and it's honestly just a proof that like sim racing is a family affair. And also shout out to Matt Dernedde's father-in-law. Seeing a picture of him after he won his race, that was pretty good as well. So yeah, shout out to those outside the scenes that will never race in here, well maybe, but they're always watching.
Excellent. And Matt, over to you.
Oh, it's got to be a massive shout out to my wife's family, Luke and Christy Delaney. They've watched every single race in their cinema room on the big screen, which has been pretty cool. It's pretty rare to have that sort of family support behind you. When at the end of the day, we're all a couple of goofballs playing video games, so it's quite cool to have that support from those guys. Of course, all of CP, these guys have been amazing, and Liam Tame and Simon Bishop, a lot of the BCG guys have also helped me out with a few setups when I was a bit stuck as well, so big shout out to those guys too.
Absolutely awesome. We are being told the server is up, so for those of you who've been waiting, you should now be able to join the server, which will be configured for the 30-minute reverse top 10 grid and the 60 minutes with one mandatory pit stop. I believe it's both in one lobby. We'll see. I'm not 100% sure. It might be another reset between there. I am not a server admin. Isaac can probably comment on that, and we do welcome Isaac back into the commentary box. And you probably want to ask these guys a couple of questions as well.
Look, I think you've covered quite a lot of it. I think we've covered favourite tracks. Look, I do want to get just a quick wish list from you boys. Just one track you would love to see on the calendar for next season. What if you could pick any track in ACC? What would you pick?
You go first, Matt.
Love Snedden. I'd love to see it on the season calendar.
Get a round of applause from me, Matt. Yes.
Yeah, I love that track. It's old school, punishing. You're on the grass, you're in the fence. It's proper driver's track, that one.
I'll probably go Suzuka. Always love the windy turns of Suzuka. It's always a good track to go to.
Wonderful. Well, there you have it. Who knows? You may see those tracks next season. These guys are admins, so they do get a little bit of a say in what tracks we have. But can confirm the draft calendar we have actually does have one of those two circuits in it, and I know which one you're hoping it is, George Cook, and you'll have to wait to find out when the season 3 calendar drops later in the year. But thank you, boys, for joining us in the commentary box. It's been an absolute pleasure, I'm sure, for George to interview you guys. And congratulations on all your success this season.
Oh, I've got one more question for Matt.
He's got one more.
Oh, here we go.
Who's getting the apple tonight, mate?
The apple. Oh, I mean, the pace on Simon Bishop, he's a good chance of the apples, I think, but I'm hoping to steal them from him.
That's all he's racing for this season now. It's the apple. Good stuff.
Brilliant.
Thank you very much, fellas. And that was, of course, our champion-elect, Matt Dernedde, and CP Motorsports boss for the ACC division, CP Greeny, jumping in to have a chat with us. And George, that sounded like a very interesting conversation. Quite a lot the boys had to say there, but it seems overall they've had some really positive moments this season.
Certainly, and I think a lot of it comes down to team culture. It comes down to synergy between the drivers. This is why it's such a big job for the team owners to make those decisions. They've got to find drivers that'll work together, that'll fit within their ecosystem. And by the sounds of it, the desire there from Greedy and Matt to want to bring everyone along on the ride. This is not the All Blacks on the World Rugby stage pre-2004 where we held on to all the secrets. This is very much 2025 Rugby World Cup, where everyone's got a Kiwi boss, Kiwi coach, and they're all learning the tips and the tricks, and the field is evening out. And they commented, widely on how good the racing has been in season 2. And I think, as I said before, Isaac, it's created a lot of FOMO. And I think, you probably have to drop that season 3 calendar sooner rather than later.
Well, we already have started working. We like to be prepared at AGT, and we definitely have a calendar in the works, ready to go. But obviously our focus today is on the finale, and I think we are not too far away from the sprint race. We should be almost gridding up the cars as we cut over, and there we are. So we've got 1 minute and 17 seconds till we get underway on this formation lap. All looks good to me in terms of the grid, which is a great relief because I wasn't letting myself out of that cold server room until I had everything absolutely spotless, and to me it looks perfect, which is great. This reverse top 10 looks very exciting.
This is why I like to, my job is software engineer, so I like to hang out in the server room. I run hot. I got a big bod, so I like to hang out in the server room, but some people don't enjoy that cold weather. Yeah, this is going to be great. Josh Green, I think he was a bit nervous. He's not quite sure, but I think he's got the mindset of, look, whatever will happen, will happen. He'll have that inside line into turn 1, Isaac, so he'll be able to brake late into turn 2. As long as he gets to the apex, he can keep some cars behind him, give some more opportunity for Matt Dernedde to make some positions early on. Certainly from Simon Bishop's point of view, if he wants that apple today, got to make it past Dernedde. He will have, I believe, the outside line in turn 1, turn 2. Opportunities to overtake around the outside, very tricky on the exit of 2, though.
It's very difficult. It's a lot of difficult corners to overtake around here. The last sector is really going to be where you can set yourself up the final corner, especially. You can look for a few people trying to go for that dive bomb, but everyone hopefully will use this siding lap just to get their head around this track, get themselves in a position where they know what this track is like. This is a new circuit for AGT, a new circuit for a lot of these drivers as a result. And it's all about patience at this. It is a sprint race. You do want to be quick, but it is, for the most part, actually about patience. And I've just noticed James Barton in 14th is actually in the pit lane, so he'll do a pit lane start for this race.
Not ideal. He's in the Ferrari, so might be a tactical choice here, or maybe they've got the cloud makeup out. I'm not 100% sure. I'm keeping my eye on P11, P12, Norley and Silver. These guys fighting in the championship and Pro-Am. There is, I believe, about 31 points between them, so not a lot at all. Max Silver is starting behind Bob Norley. Bob Norley's 3rd in the championship for Pro-Am. Max Silver's in 2nd for Pro-Am, so it's going to be a critical start for Bob Norley and see what he can do at the beginning of this race. But optimum conditions out here today, Isaac, 34 degrees Celsius. It's a typical Spanish day, and other than our broadcaster today, I don't think anyone's picked up the flu.
No, I don't think anyone has picked up the flu. I'm a little bit disappointed with the lack of rain. Being told that there was a game glitch for Button, which is why I had to suffer, which is incredibly frustrating. I know that Braden Henderson had that after a qualified on the 2nd row of the grid, and Laguna Seca. So the curse of the pit lane glitch strikes again. Unfortunately, it struck James Barton today, but the good news is we'll get another bite of the cherry starting from 14th in race 2.
Certainly will. So this is not everything for tonight. You know, 30-minute race. It's going to be hectic. People will be taking those opportunities because, you know, if you see an opportunity in front of you, chances are it's probably not coming again in the 30-minute race. But you have the 60-minute race where you can execute some strategy. You'll have the mandatory pit stop. You can play around with the undercuts. You can play around with the overcuts. It's not so urgent to make those overtakes. But, you know, this is why we love this format, Isaac. You know, it's hectic. We're going to have a reverse top 10. Josh Green, Liam Tame, Shepard, Gray, Carter, Henderson, Fleming, Matchin, all ahead of Dernedde and Bishop. I mean, this is going to be a wild start to the race. We're heading into the last corner, and it's over to you for the race start.
Oh, here we go. They're 2x2, gridding up now for this race start. It is time to go sprint racing for the final time this season. Can you believe that this is it? It's going to be Josh Green, the reserve driver, that starts on pole to lead us away to this 30 minutes of action. No stop required in this race, so it's just all out. Go as fast and as hard as you can for 30 minutes. Look at them all. Double file, 2x2 down the front straight. Green flag. We are away for the sprint race, the final one of the season, the second last race. And that is a great start from our pole sitter and an equally as good start from Liam Tame. It looks like there's a couple cars going too wide in the background. We've got a car off. That is 27 of Shepard running wide at the exit of turn 1 using all of the track limit. We've got cars 2x2 into turn 2 for the first time, but it looks like for the most part everyone has got through this incredibly tidily. There's been no major incidents, no yellow flags thrown up just yet. Everyone is still pointing the right way, which is what we love to see, George. Good.
Oh, it certainly is, but unfortunately that has come to an end. We have a yellow flag in there at turn 4, and Nico Terrell has taken its first victim. I think it might be the number 7 car there. I'm not 100% sure. A little hard to see. It's number 1. It is Simon Bishop. He's had a disaster.
That is huge, because that is the man that essentially had the pressure taken off him after Josh Struick qualified 15th for both races. So that is massive. He got some heavy front end damage there on the front of that number 1 car, and his torrid run continues. He did not have a good race to at Laguna Seca, which secured the championship for Matt Dernedde, and now he is having equally as difficult time in the first race, the first sprint race here at Valencia. But it is Josh Green that leads the way off to a blinding start, and he's got Liam Tame and John Shepard not too far behind. So a great start for our top 4, top 5 drivers. Matt Dernedde, champion-elect, up into 5th. I'm going to say that a lot tonight. Maybe we can make that a bit of a game. Every time I say champion-elect, you can take a drink. I think tipsy at the end of it.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think I'd be sitting in my chair in the commentary box anymore. I think I'd be on the floor commentating on the design pattern of the roof and the decor. So probably not the best idea for me. But ladies and gentlemen at home, feel free. It's going to be a good one. I don't think Josh Green was expecting to necessarily still be in first place after the first lap. So he's done very, very well. But Matt Dernedde has cut through this field like a hot knife through butter so far. And he's right on the heels of Henderson. He's got to make that move relatively shortly, otherwise he's going to find himself running into that dirty air. The tires will start to do the old overheating spiral. 34 degrees Celsius track temperature, so you've got to take advantage at the start of the race when the tires are slightly cooler. Make those deep dives, those overtakes, make them quickly. But now he's got a Mercedes in front of him, and they're really, really tricky to get yourselves ahead of.
They certainly are incredibly tricky to get yourselves ahead of. I'm trying to spot where that number 1 is on track. I can't see it anywhere, so hopefully he hasn't lost it. He is actually in 30th place at the moment, so he's starting to crawl his way back through the field, which is good. And hopefully he can get some points, obviously sprint points on offer for this race. And Wayne Tanner, the M-Class Championship leader, is doing what he needs to do at the moment. He's sitting 25th on the road, but crucially, he is ahead of Ian Stewart, which is his closest championship rival, and his teammate. So this is a great start for the sprint race.
Oh, very wide there from the Ford. The 211 Horvath does manage to make it round the outside of the final corner, so tried the deep braking, did run a little bit onto the gravel, which is not great for your tyres at the end of the day, but held on, and there was luckily a bit of trust involved in that one, and he manages to find himself up ahead of Tanner. Be good to see where our Pro-Am battle is at, but for Tanner certainly, he just needs to hold on to this position as we see a little bit of a wide run there in the Aston Martin.
So I think he's just trying trying to let a few cars through. I'm not sure. He looks to be going a little bit. Cars side by side. That's Simon Bishop side by side with a Ferrari in the background. So there's a little bit going on there, and he's gotten past. So now Simon Bishop will turn his sights to this man in front, and he want to get out of the way. He doesn't want to make it too difficult for Simon Bishop. However, he also has to be mindful that he could lose a position or two here if he's not careful. And that he's sorted. He's lost 2 positions. Sorry, I'm trying to keep up with the stream here. I'm a few connection issues which I'm trying to get on top of. But for the most part, it looks like, for now, Wayne Tenner is holding ahead of his teammate Ian Stewart. So that is doing what he needs to do to secure this championship. And Adam Gray, where he is, I believe he's ahead of both Max Silver and Bob Norway at the moment. He is the first, second and third in class in their championship order. So this is what Adam Gray needs to be doing at the moment to secure that championship winning class.
Certainly is, and purple lap there, fastest lap for Josh Struick. He's cut through the field from 19th to 10th place, so his forward is also slicing through the field like a hot knife through butter, and now up into the top 10. Looks like Silva has managed to make his way past Norley, and Norley wasn't able to hold on. So if he's got any hope of really pushing for that second place in Pro-Am, he's going to have to make some moves sooner rather than later. He is sitting right on the Mercedes bumper, so he is right there. But Adam Gray off to a great start, 6th position overall. Now just needs to hold Fleming behind him in the McLaren. Not going to be scoring points, so that's not a critical part of this race for him. But he's got to worry about Silva and Norley, not necessarily for the overall championship, but just for the bragging rights, I think.
Yeah, it's all about bragging rights as well, which is what a lot of these drivers will want, as well as championship positions. So, mind you, there is prize money for the top 3 in each championship. So, finishing ahead will net you a bit of a nicer payday at the end of this race. But in saying that, it's also just bragging rights. Fleming here, this one on screen. Your favourite car, George Cook, and I don't know what would give that away that is your favourite car, but I do know for a fact it is. I believe it's a Garage 57 review as well, which is a very nice, Garage 59 I think it is, livery, which are lovely liveries. Just talk us through what's so appealing to drivers like Cameron Fleming, who requested this car specifically. What's so appealing about this car? What makes it such a good car to drive?
I'll tell you what, at a circuit like this, Circuit Ricardo Tormo, it is just comes alive. It's an MR car. It is very, very sensitive, and it's very sensitive to damage as well. So it can be very tricky to drive. It can be a frustrating car to drive at the end of the day. One of the things that McLaren really has going for it is its ability to really stiffen the ARBs. You can throw a lot of differential on the rear tires as well. You can just get that thing essentially snapping in to these apexes and then launching out of the corner. You're seeing evidence of it right there as they head through Nieto, turn 6. And you saw the launch. He had so much more apex speed. The car's gripping so much more at the front end, but then he puts the power down and the thing goes in a straight line. It just comes alive at a circuit like this. And admittedly, there are some tricks to the trade, things that I will happy to talk about in a DM. So if you want some more McLaren tips and tricks, feel free to DM me. I'm not going to give out all my secrets here representing McLaren on the world stage, if you know what I mean. But you'll find that out of the corners, that thing is an absolute beast.
Very opposite of CP Motorsports there, George, keeping your cards close to your chest. So giving away all the McLaren secrets on the world stage, whereas these guys, Josh Green, still leading the way, and it is Matt Dernedde putting Liam Tame under pressure. So he's in a bit of a CP Motorsports sandwich at the moment. You noticed slightly different liveries on the CP Motorsports cars. Josh Green running the typical CP livery that they've run for the majority of this season. A bit of gold is on the side of Matt Dernedde's livery to celebrate this championship victory. He wanted to run the number 1. That was swiftly denied by the admin team, but he wasn't given special dispensation to run a bit of gold, just to celebrate the fact that he has taken that championship, which I think he's made a point of every single person he's met over the past few weeks, introducing himself as Matt Dernedde, Season 2 champion.
Holder of the apple, gold livery enjoyer. Yeah, it certainly has, man. The number 51, it does look really good. I mean, gold and blue is a match made in heaven, in my opinion. Very, very royal, very, upper class sort of thing. We've got a battle between the Mercedes that's happening. I saw a little dive into turn 2. But yeah, look, at the end of the day, it's fair enough. Every driver, even if they don't realize it, wants to run a gold live. They want to run a little special thing that says, hey, I did well this season. And certainly he has, so he absolutely deserves it. Josh Truitt up into P9, Isaac.
That is crucial. He's got the fastest lap of the race as well. So this is with a minimal gap. I believe it was a 40-point gap. I will confirm that number for you. But given that it was such a minimal gap, it was 42 points. This is huge for Josh Truitt because he's inside the top 10 with a solid group of points, and he's not too far off these cars in front of him. He's got Max Silver next up the road, who's actually made some inroads on Adam Gray as well. So Max Silver trying to make some moves for the Pro-Am class lead to outscore his championship rival, but Josh Truitt has also got a championship to think about. This is where it comes into play here, as we've got sort of Mercedes and a Mercedes going side by side in the foreground there. So it's still going on in this middle pack, but here we go. That is Shepherd pushing Henderson out of the way, and then we've got contact with Fleming, and that is Fleming getting into the side of Shepherd, essentially moving him out of the way. That will have to go to the stewards, I'm sure. They'll be having a look at that one, and he'll be very frustrated. But that is now all the way back down to what looks like maybe 7th or 6th place for Joe Shepherd now, which is not what he wants at this stage of the race, given how hard it is to try and make those positions back. But it's opened up this pack now.
It certainly has. Now, that was actually, I think, a fair overtake from what I saw at the very least. I mean, Henderson and Shepherd going side by side. No, this is no bias involved, I promise you. But at the end of the day, the McLaren had the half the car well in front at the apex line there. He took the shortest line possible, and the Mercedes was turning in. So I'm not sure if there's going to be anything coming of that at the end of the day. Could have been any car there, Isaac, I promise you. And here they go again, these two, locked in an epic struggle, and there goes a Ford.
That's Adam Gray. Is that Adam Gray or is that Josh Truitt? I think it was Josh Truitt just saying, all right, well, we're going to make this two-line battle a party of 3, and pushed his way up the inside to get past. And that will now, well, we can see Max Silver and Adam Gray going side by side in the background into turn 1 as well. It's all going on at the moment between all of these drivers. The gloves are well and truly off. Max Silver trying to get himself into that Pro-Am class lead. Can he hold on? I think he does. Get himself up into 6th place. The gloves are well and truly off. All bets are off. It's last race of the season, last day of school, and everyone's just going, they're in it for themselves.
As I said, 18 minutes to go now, and yeah, I think that one from Josh Truitt was definitely going to be a trip down to the stewards' office. It was a big dive bomb. There wasn't really a gap for a Ford. Maybe a Ferrari could have fit through there, I'm not so sure, but certainly needed something a little bit thinner because the gap wasn't quite there, and he did end up forcing a bit of contact there with one of the Mercedes, forced that Mercedes to slide out, and of course that's cost Shepherd a position in this race. Henderson still chasing after Fleming, who's now up to 4th position. These two breaking away from this absolute scrap that's happening behind, and Truitt is trying again. Silver now under pressure. Silver will be very happy now to be ahead of Adam Gray, and there's Henderson going sideways.
Oh no, that's a huge impact for Brad Henderson. He's got it going very quickly again. Jordan in a gap of traffic. That's well done from Nitro, and he'll get it rolling. That is heavy damage. A massive impact with the outside wall there at the exit of, I believe that was turn 12. Okay, I'm trying to count my way through these corners, but that is a massive impact. He will push on. That's dropped him right down the field though. Josh Truitt finds his way past Max Silver. So he's now up into 5th place, and Max Silver, as a result, still in 6th. But crucially, he's now got a car with his teammate for this evening between himself and Adam Gray.
Well, there we go. More action into turn 2. We told you it was going to be a hot spot. Duhan, beautiful place to go racing through that sector. Leads you into 3 and 4 Terrell, where we saw that initial incident with Simon Bishop. But Champi Herreros taking the first victim there at turn 12. There's a big sausage curve on the inside. Drivers often go a little bit wide of the apex just to avoid that. And it does look like Henderson was trying to do that. He ran a bit wide, and as soon as you do that, the car bounces because the road is really uneven on the left-hand side of the exit. And if you get your car bouncing even a small amount, because you need to be on the accelerator through the apex, you end up with the car just losing grip. There's no weight in the rear tires. You start to spin the tires, the RPMs go up, and you're around.
Yeah, it's very difficult to balance the sausage curve of the circuit with the car control. And we've seen that time and time again with some of the circuits we have here. We saw it at Laguna Seca. You touch that sausage curb and around you go. And I'm just noticing, been pointing out to us on the broadcast, Bob Norley is now your Pro-Am class leader. So in about the space of 3 laps, we've had 3 different Pro-Am class leaders. And it is the Swedish chef cooking up the storm at the moment. That's what he's known as, the Swedish chef. And he is up into 7th place. Max Silver now back behind Adam Gray. So it's all happening. You can't even look away for a second, because as soon as you do, things change, and suddenly people aren't where they were previously. It's all going to just change really quickly if someone makes a mistake here or someone goes for the move. And so that's 7 or 8 cars just lining up to take that spot as well.
This is why I love watching racing at Circuit Ricardo Tormo. It is a fantastic circuit, and anything can happen. It is great to see that the Pro-Am Championship is in P7, 8, and 9, and these guys are battling it out. Adam Gray needs to finish within a reasonable distance of these two. Norley needs to finish ahead of Silver by some distance as well. I think at least 1 or 2 positions. Isaac, you might be able to do the math on that for us, but certainly it's great to see the battle, and we're seeing Matt Dernedde now up in the 2nd place. Simon Bishop is, I believe, in 17th. Struett up to 5th, still with the fastest lap of the race with just under 15 minutes to go.
He's pushing hard, is Simon Bishop. He's looking to try and claw back as many points to Josh Stewart as he possibly can. And limit the amount of damage he'll probably will. At the conclusion of this race, it's a big curb usage there. Bob Norley, he's done well to catch that, almost reminiscent of his teammate a few laps ago. And he's done very well indeed to catch that, but it's going to open up. Oh, massive dive bomb from Adam Gray, sends it up the inside. That's heavy contact, and that was very late and very deep on the brakes. And I'm sure Bob Norley will not be too impressed with that one at all, because that sends him right down the pack now.
Gosh, so it's a disaster at the end of the day, and not much you could do in that situation. You know, you suddenly find yourself there, and you're sliding around, not easy to recover, and at this part of the circuit as well, it's costing you so much down the straight. So this is gutting for him. First drive-through coming through the grid. Henderson has picked that up in the 877. So it's all Mercedes. They're absolutely causing a ruckus out there.
It's all mostly Team XV Primer as well. These guys are not having a nice run of it today. So the first track limits penalty being served, as mentioned, to Brad Henderson. He's in 14th. He will continue to drop down as a result of that. But it is a 1-2 at the moment for CP Motorsports, and I will need to check my notes to see, George Cook, whether we've actually had this at any point this season. They are going to battle it out. I can confirm, I'm 90% sure they're actually not in a voice chat, so there's no communication going on between these two at the moment. It would just be hard racing.
Yeah, it certainly will. And Isaac taking the old commentator's risk of trying to get the calculator out during stream, and we'll just see if there's someone smarter or quicker in chat to upset his intentions today. But certainly Matt Dernedde not looking to make this overtake, and Josh Green has been leading for the last 17 minutes of the race. He didn't sound confident. Or too confident. He said, you know what, whatever will happen, and I'll let people go when they want to pass me. Well, no one's had a shot at him, so he's still there in first place after 11 laps of this race. And Dernedde, I think, is quite happy just to run in behind. He knows that the team's championship is going to be swinging their way dramatically, which is key here, of course, in the finale. We've got another 60-minute race to come up after the end of this sprint race. A drive-through now being served by Henderson.
Being served, I think, as well with this, it will be a little bit of Josh Green. He likes to say, I won't battle anyone, I'll let them go. I think if it was anybody else, he would, but it's a bit of a case of, this is the team boss, and this is the champion, and Josh Green maybe wants to prove a little bit of a point here, is you can't have it all your own way. Just because you won a championship for the team doesn't mean I'm just going to let you walk past me and get another race victory. If you want this, you have to own it. So they will battle it out. They have got a very rapid Cameron Fleming chasing them down in the McLaren. Team also not too far behind. So there could be a three-way or even a four-way battle for the race victory before we get to them. So we've got 11 minutes to go in this race. There's still plenty of time for people to make up positions or make mistakes. Bob Norley down in 14th place now. Max Silver does lead Adam Gray, and I have to keep a very close eye on that, because I'm sure Bob Norley will need to just reset himself now. He'll be very frustrated, but he'll have to just sort of center himself take a few deep breaths. He's got Simon Bishop behind him now. That's going to be a very intense battle. I'm sure Simon Bishop will be eager to get past. And there's a little bit of a look into the final corner. And Josh Gordon as well, I've noticed, has a drive through. So the second drive through, they're starting to fall now, the dominoes in terms of drive throughs. And if this is what we're getting in the sprint race, I'm very nervous to see what we'll get in the longer race, the feature race coming up.
Certainly, yeah, and it's not, you don't need to make any emergency overtakes at this point. Yeah, I don't know if Norley's going to be relaxed. I don't think he's going to be able to get that mindset. Oh, Simon Bishop trying up the inside of turn 2, and he's going to be side by side through 3 and into tunnel we go. It'll be a braking zone around the outside, but actually Norley does the right thing. He backs out of that one. He says, I don't want to race this guy right now. Simon Bishop is also seeing ghosts of race lap past at Terrell as they head through there. That's where he had his accident on lap 1, trying to fight his way through the field from P10 because of the reverse top 10 grid. Did get qualifying pole, but this turns back Simon Bishop's way in the 60-minute race. We know how good he is executing a strategy. He'll be able to do that in the race, and he'll be able to control that race from the beginning. Inside line through 1, inside line through 2, then you've got the infield, and then you're pretty much good to go as long as you build a gap.
Yeah, this is very much, he needs to just come back as much as he can in this race. He's already up to 13th, which is doing what he needs to do. And then let's just do what he does best in the second race, in the feature race. Pull way out in front, and you'll have Matt Dernedde not too far behind him, but I'm sure that we'll see a similar story of Matt Dernedde has to sit in behind him, and this McLaren, I can hear you laughing because here he comes. Matt Dernedde has gotten past Josh Green, so there's a new race leader, and they're going to go side by side into 2 now on the run towards 3. And this is a very exciting little battle, and I'm sure you're rubbing your hands at the thought of a McLaren picking up the order. I did tell. He's made contact again. That's the second time McLaren has made contact with a front runner, and he will stop and wait and get going again. So that is a automatic redress from Cameron Fleming, but that has severely hurt both of those drivers and put them back down the order, because they just came together on the exit of 4, which was a little bit of an awkward situation. There's more contact. It's still going.
Oh dear, oh dear. Yeah, the front damage there for the McLaren's not going to be great. And look, at the end of the day, 100% on Fleming for that one. He's going to be quicker at the apexes than the BMWs. This is exactly what happens to the McLarens. It's not cockiness. It's not overdriving the car. It's not desperation. It's just so quick compared to the BMWs that have this understeer problem. And no matter what you do with the setup, you will still suffer from that. You have to go very slow through into those corners, and Fleming just did not account for that. It's 100% on him, and of course Greeny will not be a happy chappy as a result of that. McLaren's damage shouldn't affect him too much in his pace, but the front end is going to feel a little bit looser now as a result, and that rear diffuser for Greeny is not going to feel great. Look, they're back at it again. So Greeny is going to have to either yield or maybe not defend as hard. I mean, through 4, it was fair racing at the end of the day. He put his car on the apex. He was ahead at the braking zone. It was the switchback attempt from Fleming that undid him.
It was the switchback attempt. Definitely caught him out wide on the exit of 1 for Cameron Fleming. There is a bit of room to abuse the track limits at 1 there, but you don't want to go too far because then you won't necessarily get away with it. Max Silver has gotten past Josh Green, so Max Silver up into 5th. He's putting cars between himself and Adam Gray, which is what he needs to do. Josh Shepherd is having a look as well. Green's up there. It's huge contact. That is massive, and there's contact with Adam Gray as well. So Green off the road. We missed the initial part of that incident. And then Josh Shepherd, Adam Gray had nowhere to go. Heavy contact, and Josh Green's now back in the pit lane. He'll have to repair that damage.
Oh, we didn't catch what happened, but you know what? I'm going to take a guess at the McLaren may have been faster at the apex, and the BMW may have been slower at the apex, and they may have come together. I get the feeling that one's probably on Fleming as well. He wasn't driving safe enough, and that's probably it. We don't know. We didn't see it. Unfortunately, we just flipped away at the exact wrong moment. But it's all come to blows, unfortunately, for these guys. And of course, we have Stewart. He's picked up some damage as a result of that. Matching behind him's got damage. The Mercedes has got damage. Doesn't look like anyone, in fact, other than Matt Dernedde, is devoid of damage on their cars at the moment. Certainly in the top 5, although Silver may be running okay at the moment. But crikey, This is what Valencia brings, unfortunately. When you've got a car that's going to be faster through those corners, they've got to back off, and it's not a good feeling because there's not a lot of other opportunities to overtake.
There's not a lot of opportunities to overtake at all, but I feel that some drivers are just trying to make those opportunities to overtake, and it's not really going the way that they would want it to, and it's backfiring. Adam Gray is now fallen down to 9th place, but crucially, Josh Truex up to 3rd. Simon Bishop is up to 10th place. So the advantage that Josh Truex had is slowly dwindling as this group continues to battle, because Simon Bishop is working his way back through the pack, and he is now on the back of that top 10 battle group from about 7th all the way down to 11th and 12th place. They're all within a second of each other. So there's plenty of opportunity for things to swing their way here, but Max Silver is well out in front in 5th place in the Pro-Am Championship. He's got Cameron Fleming chasing after him, and Cameron Fleming maybe just has to start thinking about being a little bit more careful on the brakes.
Certainly will be, and yeah, look, in the 60-minute race, he will be a real threat to win today. Obviously, the 30-minute race has not gone his way, a little bit too over-eager, but the McLaren clearly has a lot of pace at this circuit, and he will be starting a little bit further down the grid this time, but expect to see the McLaren cutting through the field with relative ease. We're looking at Shepard as he tries a bit of a late braking maneuver around the outside. It's actually opened up the inside line there for Simon Bishop, who does think twice about the opportunity. He's not going to get the half apple slice that he was looking for the 30-minute race, but he's still going to be keen and onto it, I'm sure, for the 60-minute race ahead. And it will be interesting to compare Bishop's pace to what we've seen from Fleming today. And I know I go on and on and on about the McLarens, but in this case, you saw, Isaac, how quickly Fleming caught up to the top two.
He's got a lot of pace in that car, and he just needs to use it in the right spots. Just be aware. We've got, I'm sure, a very frustrated Josh Green back in the pit. He's having such a great race. Cameron Fleming now has got past Max Silver, so that is a change of position. Max Silver is up to, Cameron Fleming's up to 5th. I think Max Silver maybe just let him go a little bit there, not pushing too hard. That is Josh Green back out on the circuit, so he's repaired the damage, back out on track, rolling again, which is great to see him back out on the circuit. And let's have a look a little bit further down the field. We've got 4 minutes to go in this race. We're almost to the end of the sprint race, if you would believe. And Wayne Tanner has a sizable lead over Ian Stewart, who was right down the field. I can't even see him there. He is in 32nd place. So this is great for the man that is trying to secure the AM Championship. Not great for Ian Stewart, but great for Wayne Tanner, because he will grow that lead even more going into this feature race.
Certainly will. So let's keep an eye on that. But I tell you what, you know, it has been pretty here and there race. We have had track temperatures cooling, a little bit overcast. Has come here to the circuit of Ricardo Tormo. And it is one of those little microclimate areas. This stuff can happen in the mornings. The fog creeps in. The Formula One testers do not like when that happens in winter. But nonetheless, we'll keep an eye. But Henderson is unfortunately been a bit of his own worst enemy today, I have to say. You know, he's had all the potential. He's been really, really quick in that Mercedes, as he has been all season long. Whoa, that's a very, very wide line. Probably suffering from a little bit of understeer in the car as well, with the damage to the front of the vehicle. You see the bonnet looking rather worse for wear, and it will be affecting his front splitter damage and how the aerodynamics are working on the car, and you'll probably see that as we head through turn 1. Yeah, a little bit more cautious through there. Doesn't want to run it too wide and pick up a drive-through penalty. Something that hasn't been talked about too much. We have had a couple of drive-throughs in the 30-minute race. What's this going to look like in the 60-minute race, though?
That's the question that I'm on. Brad Henderson gets another one for his troubles. That's the second he's had this race. And if this is what it's like in this race, again, as you mentioned, what is it going to look like in the second race? Will we see even more drive-throughs? That's the question that we'll have to wait to find out, I guess, when we get there. It has beaten Josh Gordon as well in this race. There's a couple of drivers that have been caught up with curves. It's all happening, and there's been a few things, a couple of times where we thought maybe someone like Adam Gray is setting himself up here for a good run, and then it's all come undone due to one or two small incidents unfolding. Chain effect, a snowball effect, if you will. We have a poll up in the chat as well on the AGT YouTube channel. Who do you think will win this Pro-Am Championship? Currently, we've got 7 votes going. and we've got 4 votes in the way of Adam Gray, but there's also Max Silver and Bob Morley there, so let us know who you think will take out this championship. Currently, Adam Gray, the favourite, is last out of all 3 of those drivers. Max Silver in 6th, Bob Morley 10th, and Adam Gray 11th. So it is swinging away from Adam Gray, but just how much is it swinging away? We'll have to find out as we get into the feature race. We'll run those points up for you. But a minute and 15 seconds here to go. And what a race it has been so far. Super action-packed. I don't think we've had to really stop for a second to draw breath, George. It's all been happening.
It's been good. It's this is typical Valencia racing, as we expect it to be, and there will be these incidents. This is part of the game, really, and I do mean that in the terms of the track. Oh, that's very close now between Liam Tame and Machen. Machen is going for it, and will it be a send up the inside line to the final corner? It is very wide line from Liam Tame, but is it going to be a switchback attempt? It is, and that's a very smart move because he'll have the inside into turn 1 at the death of this race.
This is a side-by-side battle down the front straight. Here we go between Machen and Tame. This is the podium, and Machen, he'll want to get some good teams points. They are battling with TTR Southside for the teams championship. 13 points between them coming into this round, and this will be a strong result. His teammate did Cardigan in 19th, so he needs all the points he can get because currently Southside boys are 2nd and 11th, so strong points haul for the Southside drivers. They don't want to see, I'm sure, at the West Side. They're being beaten by the Southside team. Came in late after a buyout of FR Racing after the first round. So the West Side team, who have been here since the beginning, they were all the way back when we ran the mini-series this time last year. They were a team, they were running around, they were some of the fastest guys in the field, and they still are. Machen proving that with the pace he has in that Ford Mustang at the moment. And Matt Dernedde, though, leading the way. We have clicked over to 0, so this lap will be the last lap. Where is our race leader on circuit? Trying to find where he is. He's coming through towards the final corner now. And this man, again, he is champion-elect, and he is proving why he was this Season 2 champion. Matt Dernedde, he will come out of the final corner, and he will win the sprint race here at Valencia, the second last race of the season. It is victory for CP Motorsports and Matt Dernedde. Josh Struick, after starting 15th, will come home in 2nd place, crucial for his championship run. Liam Tame finishes 3rd for BCG. Machen in 4th, and Cameron Fleming, after a tumultuous race and contact with a few cars up and down the field, will come home in 5th. Max Silver, though, holds on over Simon Bishop for 6th place. What a race. Bob Norley finishes ahead of Adam Gray. We have Shepherds in the top 15 as well. Adam Elzine gets a drive-through right at the last minute, and will have to serve a 30-second penalty once he crosses the line instead, which is super frustrating for him because that will drop him right down the order.
Certainly will, and of course we've had Wayne Tanner, I believe, finishing ahead of Ian Stewart by some margin, so that 2-point gap going to be extended by quite a little bit. So Wayne Tanner is in the box seat to get the win in AM class. For Bob Norley, it'll be great to see what kind of statistics we can bring up for him and Max Silver. There's 88 points between Adam Gray and Max Silver, 119 between Adam Gray and Bob Norley, so 31 between 2nd and 3rd. So this is going to be critical, watching the final few cars come across the line. A little bit of a battle back here between Twinning and Boyd, who are going to be crossing the finish line most likely in this order. Isaac Fogarty's team with the McDonald's livery. Correct me if I'm wrong, I believe that is correct, but he will be finishing up there in P27. Josh Green is in the pits with a drive-through penalty and has held on. I think, honourable mention to him. He held on for a very, very long time through this race, but at the end of the day, the drive-through has hurt him. The accidents, of course, with Fleming, mainly, of course, Fleming's fault, unfortunately, of part of that one. The other thing as well, Struick, I thought he started P19. So is that 17 positions gained?
I believe he started P15. I think he was 15th in qualifying. So that is, just trying to do the maths in my head. I think that's 13 positions gained in this race, which is still an excellent result for the TTR Southside driver, and a great way. We'll see if we can get the numbers as we get into the second race as to what that looks like. But there is our full race results. So it is Matt Dernedde that took the victory over Josh Struick, then Liam Tame, then James Machen, Cameron Fleming, Max Silver, Simon Bishop, Bowen Piper, John Shepherd and Bob Norley was your top 10. And crucially for that Pro-Am Championship, both of the men hunting down Adam Gray for that Pro-Am victory finished ahead of him.
Yeah, that's right. It's going to be very interesting to see what the numbers come out as. And for Silver, I mean, he's finished a significant number of positions. There's 4 positions in between him and Adam Gray. You'll have to tell me exactly what that means in terms of the standings and the points that they get for the 30-minute race. Still a long way to go, though, and Silver, of course, will start behind Norley yet again as we head towards the 60-minute race, which we will be doing, I believe, a server restart for as well to rearrange the grid. So there will be a small break that we take here in the commentary box while that is sorted out. But I tell you what, overall, I mean, Circuit Ricardo Tormo, Valencia, absolutely on point. And I've got my eyes on a McLaren. You know, this team, he might be going to the steward's office, Isaac, you know, but you know what? I think he's a real shoo-in for a victory in the 60-minute.
Well, I told him he wasn't allowed to be too fast because typically we wouldn't allow drivers to change their cars right at the final race of the season to run something different. But he asked, and we were gracious enough to allow him to do so, provided he wasn't just going to go out and wipe the floor with everybody. So we'll have to keep a close eye. I know you would like him to win. I hope he doesn't win because then that sort of ruins it ruins it for everyone, and no one will ever get to have a special dispensation to change their car ever again. How he goes, but I hope he does do well. I hope another top 5 might be on the cards.
Yeah, let's see, and fingers crossed. Well, let's just see what happens. We are going to get a fascinating race with the mandatory pit stop coming in. It's going to create opportunities for the undercut. It's going to create opportunities for the overcut. Really depends a lot on how these drivers have set up their cars. Often they'll go with a 30-minute, 30-30 split, so they'll be doing 2 stints of equal length. But some drivers may want to get out of the early chaos. I mean, we saw Simon Bishop get caught up. It's entirely within the realms of possibility that he thinks to himself, look, I'm starting on pole, probably go for a longer stint, 45 minutes, keep the pace up, keep the clean air, and then go for a late pit stop and a fast last few laps. On the other side of that, you might have Struick, who's starting down in 15th. It is 15th. I've gone and confirmed exactly that. He may think an early pit stop is the way to go and then run long.
Well, that is the question. That's what we're going to have to try and find out. What is this strategy going to be for our drivers? Typically, we've seen them split it typically 50-50, so they try and pit as close to that half an hour mark as we can. Maybe every now and then someone comes in with 40 minutes to go or stays out a bit longer. Variable weather as well. Maybe we'll see rain. Usually we don't, which is very disappointing. We haven't seen rain at all this season. I'm really hoping for some rain today. That would really spice things up here. So keep our fingers crossed. But I believe the server is being reset and we're not too far away. So I think we're going to take a quick break and we'll be back very soon to get into this final race.
Been trying to change what I've been trying to say. Words don't come straight from my head to my mouth. It's such a shame that it fell out of place. Was never me that was bringing you down. Why we always looking for more? Why we always looking for more? could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. Why we always looking for more? Why we always looking for more? Why we always looking for more?
Welcome back. We are on the grid, almost ready to go for the final race of the season, the feature race of our final round. We had Matt Dernedde take out an action-packed, a drama-filled race one, the sprint race with the reverse top 10, and now we get to do it all again, George Cook, for this second race as the cars settle away on their formation lap. And this man on our screen, Simon Bishop, he's got the pressure on him after an incident early on, forced him to have to come back through the field, but now he starts from pole, he has clear air. Is this the opportunity he needs with his key championship rival Josh Struick 15th to just wrap up second place in the championship?
Yeah, exactly right. And this top 10 is going to be a bit of a special battle. Josh Green at the bottom now. Instead of leading us away for the race, he will have another chance to get back up through these guys. And we've had a pit start from Shepherd. So already that is not ideal. I wonder if there's been a glitch as well. Oh gosh, that's not the way you want to start the race. But it will be Bishop from Dernedde from Matt Shin, so a great battle in the top three we will be seeing. It'd be great to see Simon Bishop make it further than turn 4 without having an accident. Hopefully this race will be the one where that happens. Fleming will be in P4, so he doesn't have to worry about having Josh Green ahead of him any longer, but I think he is got to just relax a little bit. He will be quick off the line, he will be quick through these corners, but he's got to make these calculated moves. If he doesn't do that, he will cause crashes, he will cause some more commotion, and we don't obviously want that to happen for his sake or the other driver's sake. We do want to see a nice clean getaway. We were all good till turn 3.5, and then it all started to go slightly sideways, unfortunately, but for the most part, it was a reasonably clean race in terms relative term, of course, for Valencia, because things do get messy. Keep an eye on Adam Gray, Norley and Silva starting in P8, 10, 11 respectively. This is the Pro-Am battle that is going on, and I know that Isaac, you'll be running some numbers at some point as soon as we see a Ferrari. That's Barton going not the right direction.
No, that is not the right direction at all. And looks like he's maybe going the right direction again and getting his way back up to where he needs to be in this order. And now we're getting ready. We're almost at the final corner. They'll start to move into a 2x2 formation, and there we go. So it is Simon Bishop, Matt Dernedde, James Machin and Cameron Fleming make up the second row, followed by Braden Henderson and Nick Carter on row number 3, Liam Tame and Adam Gray, row number 4, Josh Green and Bob Norley, row number 5, Max Silver, Anthony Burrows, row number 6, and then Josh Barton and James Barton, and Josh Struick, row number 7. And here we go onto the front straight for the final time. They roll at 60 kilometers an hour, waiting for that green flag. When will it drop? I think we're almost there. This is the start zone. You can go any time from now, and there we go. Green flag. The timer starts. We are away for the final race of season 2, and it is a great start from our pole sitter. They all spread out as we run down towards turn 1 for the first time in this race. Matt Dernedde having a look to the outside, nice and wide, on the exit of turn 1, heavy braking zone, into turn 2 for the first time. It is Simon Bishop holding the inside line. Cameron Fleming lurking in the background on these two at the front, and he does not get past it this occasion, and it is Simon Bishop that holds on to the race lead off the start. Simon Bishop from Matt Dernedde, from Cameron Fleming, from Brayden Henderson, and Nick Carter and James Machin have gone backwards here off the start as the leaderboard now starts to sort itself out. So James Machin did not get the start he wanted, neither did Nick Carter. They're back into 5th and 6th place. So a difficult start. Max Silva, though, a great start on his championship rival, Adam Gray, up into 9th place. I believe he's actually ahead of Adam Gray there on that screen. So that is crucial for Max Silva to get up into position. And what a great race start this has been so far.
33 degrees Celsius, same similar situation as we had in the 30-minute race, and it was a good start for the McLaren driver. Makes the position early. I think Henderson and Machin were fighting through turn 2, and that allowed the McLaren to get on pass, which is an excellent time to do it. And early doors, he's going to be right up there with the top 2, Silva and Gray and Norley and Sheppers, all coming together a little bit through this first lap. And now here we go, barreling down towards the start line yet again. It is going to be a tailwind is what it's called, down the main straight, and a little bit of argy-bargy going on. You can see they're 3 wide in the distance, nearly 4 wide in the distance. This is going to be very intense. I believe that is down in P14, P15. We shall see it at turn 1. This is getting scary as we see Dan Wood trying to hold the inside line at turn 1. The Porsche of Elzine is right there. The number 16 wants a piece, and there's an Aston Martin in the mix as well.
It's all going on here. There's gloves. The gloves are off again. It's, again, the last day of school, the last race of the season. No one has to worry about coming back and racing against these guys next week. They get a little bit of a break now, so they can sort of afford to get the gloves off a little bit, fight for position. There could be a championship gain in it for them. And Nathan Hutton here, 17th place on the road. This is a man that has races on controller. He's been strong in his appearances for CP Racing this season. Got a podium, an overall podium at the Nordschleife, which was an amazing effort from the CP Racing driver. And he's now in 17th place, so struggling to get up to grips with this circuit early here. But it still is Simon Bishop from Matt Dernedde, and that's a sight we see far too often, I think. George Cook, these guys are sort of just attached at the hip, really. Unless one of them makes a mistake and spins, you can't really get them away from each other.
Well, you know, this is what happens. You put 2 great drivers in the same car, and, you know, they're sharing all sorts of different setups between each other and trying to hone in on what that meta is going to look like. And of course, we end up seeing them right at the top. Just the only person missing from this battle is Struick, the number 33 car, in 13th place, up a couple of positions already, and right on the back of Andre Sheppers. But I tell you what, only missing 1 driver from that top 3, but Fleming falling back slightly. 1.3 seconds is the gap now. Henderson coming up behind him by 0.2 of a second, so there will be an overtake looming, and the Mercedes seems to have found a little bit of legs right towards the start of this race. That means that he's really poised for an overtake at any point as he drifts it on through turn number 5, and it looks like I believe Machin looking for a little bit of a move into 6. We go, Nieto, no, nothing there at the moment. He's being hunted down by 2 Fords, Machin and Carter, both from those dark liveried Fords, barreling towards the light green and white Henderson Mercedes-Benz, the 877 car. So this is a battle that's well and truly looming. We've got 2 at the top, we've got 3 in the middle, and we've got another 3 just behind them as Nick Carter does try and make another maneuver. Not quite going to work out this time. Josh Green in P7 has moved up from P10, 3 positions already, as M. Silva and Tame and Gray not necessarily having the best race start. And we're getting some numbers now being run by Isaac. He's tempting fate here by getting the calculator out and taking some leave from the comms box momentarily while he tries to figure that out. A very sensible thing to do, and I believe he is back with some numbers. So Isaac, tell us what's up.
I am back. I've done some number crunching for our Drivers' Championships. So the gap as it stands currently with the pending race results from the sprint race, this man on your screen, Adam Gray, leads Max Silva by 73 points. So that gap has swung 15 points in favour of Max Silva. As it stands at the moment, this would not be enough for Max Silva to take the victory. If he finishes where he is, he scores a nice sum of 90 points, and Adam Gray will score a nice sum of 78 points. That's only a 12-point swing. For anything to happen here, for Max Silver to take out this championship, Adam Gray needs to finish outside the top 28 in this field. So something really severe has to happen here for Adam Gray to lose this championship. So that is pretty much, I don't know if it's taking the pressure off Adam Gray, but he doesn't have to beat Max Silver here. There's not as much pressure looming over him to take out this AMP championship. However, for Simon Bishop and for Josh Struick, there is now a 20-point difference between the two of them. So Josh Struick, who is 13th on the road, has a lot of work to do if he wants to try and get past Simon Bishop for second place in this championship.
Right. Well, he's up to P13 and he's looming on the rear wing of a couple of Mercedes there. Looks like he might be trying to think about a late lunge down the inside into the last corner, and he's been given room by the 20 of the 82. That is Bob Norley just ahead of him, I believe, or just behind him now, I should say. So next up is going to be Andre Sheppers, one of our South African drivers from New Zealand. I know him personally from other series around, or from a name that we're becoming rather familiar with, of course. But I'll tell you what, Struick is on a charge yet again. Managed to finish right up there in the sprint race, and that was only 30 minutes long. Now we've got a 60-minute long race, and he's got strategy to execute as well. I think Struick will probably be able to reel in Simon Bishop, but Simon's got to drive well, and he's got the right position now. That's the key thing for him today. He's got clean air, he's got control of the field, control of the strategy, and with the conditions looking like they're going to be pretty stable here at Valencia, I get the feeling Simon Bishop is in really, really well and truly in the box seat for this one. Getting all sorts of comments coming in the chat as well. Welcome into everyone watching on the AGT channels and the TrackSpotTV channels. Great to have you in here. We've been chatting and chatting and chatting. Note there, Fleming is dropped right off the back of Dernedde, and he is still under a lot of pressure from Henderson. I don't know, Isaac, what do you think? Matter of time?
I think it could be. Braden Henderson has a lot of pace, and he got caught out with that curb early on. As we see, that is Machen now going side by side. So there's something that's happened for Henderson, and then maybe that curb caught him out again. I was going to make comment of that he got caught out in race 1 by the curb at 12, and I think that has happened again, which means he's lost a position to Machen. He will lose a position here to Carter, it seems. They're going side by side down the front straight, a little bit of bumping between the two of them. And Machen Carter goes out wide. There's a bit more contact between the two of them, and he goes off the road, and that will get Brendan Henderson back up into P6. And Liam Tame already with the drive-through. We're only 9 minutes into this race, and he's into the pits.
That's probably a new lap record there in terms of how quick to get a drive-through penalty. I'm sure it's been done quicker somewhere, but 9 minutes in is absolutely nothing, and it's not even 9 minutes, 8 minutes and 10 seconds, and he's already done it. Does get that cleared nice and quickly, and hopefully we'll see him back out on track in short order, but it's really put a bit of a sour note into his race today. I tell you what, yeah, that move there from Carter was absolutely valid. Tried around the outside, but really just wasn't given the room. You saw how wide Henderson ran it, and it is, it's fair racing, you'd argue, to hold that inside line, but didn't quite get the camera view. I'm not quite sure how close to the apex he was, but side by side through turn 1, it either ends in tears or at least some damage.
Yeah, it has to be a little bit of damage maybe for both those cars, and I'm not sure what happened to Liam Tame there, why he returned. Maybe just a little bit of frustration at the drive-through as early on in this race as it was. It's only 50 minutes in. Josh Struick, though, fastest up of the race and up to 11th place. So he is flying at the moment, the 33 car, and putting in as much effort as he can to try and catch up to these guys. It's going to take a lot of work, though. Max Silver and Adam Gray have converged as well once again. Shepard's not too far behind that battle pack group, and he is stalking the rear of Adam Gray. There's a few battles going on up and down the field at the moment. Adam Elzine, Bowen Piper are close together, and then this battle, James Hammond and Josh Gordon quite close together as well in 21st and 22nd. So there's a lot happening up and down the field at the moment in terms of who's battling where.
Certainly is. Shepard's doing a nice bit of defensive driving there, had the inside line at 2, kept it nice and stable on the exit of turn 2 to give him the run through turn 3, and managed to hold on beautifully at Nico Terol, the turn 4 and 5. So he's done well because he's got one of the fastest drivers on the grid. Right behind him, Struick hunting him down. And that is not a name that I would like to see in my rear-view mirror. Probably not a name that Shepherd wants to see in his rear-view mirror, but he certainly knows he's going to have some really good racing on his hands. And if he keeps executing defensive moves like he did at turn 2, well, he is on for a brilliant bit of racing in the next few minutes.
Brilliant bit of racing that is going to take place very soon. Make sure you do not adjust your TV, your phone, your tablet, your computer, whatever you are watching on at home. Make sure you do not look away, because this battle is about to come alive. Shepherd is chasing down, he's being chased down, I should say, by Josh Struick, and then Max Silver is not too far up the road. So the Defy Motorsports, Mercedes are about to have a very difficult time at the moment. Riley Nicholson as well coming through the field. Nathan Hutton into the pit lane. So that is early for the 47 car. Maybe trying to do what you were speaking about earlier, George, and just getting out of the way, getting some clear air early on.
Yeah, this is what I tend to do. I mean, I had my best race result ever at Valencia in a very, very high-level league, as we've got some action happening. As Boyd and I believe Griffin, was that?
It was Griffin, and that is him driving into the pit lane. So there was a bit of contact there at the final corner, a bit of drama in this race between these guys down the back of the field. Crucially, I'm noticing Wayne Tanner is ahead of Ian Stewart again, so that's big on this race. Liam Tame has retired, no longer in the server. Cannot see his name there. We're down to 32 drivers, so we'll attempt to get to the bottom of that for you watching along at home. But we are 47 minutes to go in this race, almost 15 minutes in, only a quarter of the way in. It is Simon Bishop from Matt Dernedde, and then Cameron Fleming starting to lose touch with this pack of the battle pack at front. Brayden Henderson and Nick Carter, though, still going out at 5th and 6th, and they're quite close together with Josh Green not too far behind, so we could see some close racing here very soon. Josh Green trying to bounce back after a difficult race one, a difficult sprint race. He's got himself in a good position here, though.
Certainly has. Looks like Henderson has managed to get the overtake on Carter, so split up the two forwards at the moment. Got a 2-second gap to Matchin, but Matchin is now 1.2 seconds behind Fleming now that we've got Henderson falling back. So I think it was Matchin that did make the overtake on Henderson. Henderson was the one pressuring Fleming all the way through. But just to finish my thought train from previous moments, my best race result was at Valencia in amongst some really top drivers, and it was as a result of a little bit of luck. A few of the top drivers did come together, but I executed the strategy, which is to pit early, get out of the dirty air. I was in this huge mid-battle pack, and I'll tell you what, Isaac, getting out of that dirty air, getting out of the danger and the risk, just allows you to get your head down, focus in on saving the tires and working the strategy, and usually, especially if you pit early, will pop you out in a really lovely part of the circuit. You can see, ladies and gentlemen, if you divert your attention to the track map, no, don't, because we've got collision.
Oh, that's huge. That's both the Highland Motorsport Ferraris making contact. There's more cars making contact in the background. It's still going on. We've got yellow flags still happening. Cars strewn off the side of the circuit. Yellow flags are still out. Which cars are those? I'm trying to get a gauge. The 91, and I believe that is the 81 of Bowen Piper. And that is a massive incident between the teammates that's caused a chain reaction of cars making contact. Yellow flags left, right, and centre. And, oh, wow, that's it's going to cause more cars now to have to head back to the pit lane for damage repair.
Certainly will be, yeah. So just as I was directing everyone's attention to the track map, I'm going to point out the run of cars who are just coming through the final corner, bottom right-hand side of your screen. Those are the ones that have pitted early, and so they've got this nice clean air out there, but certainly looked like the Ferraris and the Mercedes getting all collected. Piper was sort of in the middle of that, but it was definitely two Ferraris that were basically locking horns, unfortunately, or locking hooves, I guess, in this case. The prancing horses not facing the right direction as they headed through Martinez. So that's turn 8. It all came together. So another good opportunity there. If you get the run out of 6, you can often find yourself throwing it up the inside at Fishon, which is turn 7, and then diving up the inside onto the brakes into turn 8. Great place to overtake, but it hasn't worked out for them this time. So 3 cars involved in that. Might have been the 102. We've got Dan Wood is also pitting from P21, so may well be related to him. As on screen we see Horvath making his way through turn 7 now, and this is where that incident just happened.
This is where it all happened. This nice camera angle. We saw cars making contact and going all over the circuit. Much nicer this time with only a couple cars rolling through. And just want to talk about that man in behind Horvath, Les Samwith. He's sitting in 20th place at the moment. He's had a fairly quiet season, if you will, but he's coming to this round 5th in the championship with a potential to get himself up into 4th in the Pro-Am standings, which is a great result. He's had a very quiet season, had a difficult start to his campaign, was not getting the results that he would have wanted to receive, but he has bounced back really well. He had a really good result despite driving off the track at Spain. He was pretty quiet. Sorry, that was it. What track am I thinking? I'm thinking of Belgium. Sorry, he went wide at Belgium, and then he had a bit of a quiet run at Laguna Seca, but it was still a good points haul to get himself up into that top 5 within reach of 5th place. And with Nathan Lee having that contact now down, all the way down at the back end of the top 20, having to come in to repair that damage, he's now put himself in the box seat to maybe take 4th in the Pro-Am standings, which would be a great result for this man who has a big online following. He streams all of his races live from his perspective, and he has a great little community going, but he is definitely one of the more popular characters in our community, and we love having him here because he does such a great job. He just sometimes gets a little bit distracted by his chat while he's driving.
Well, that's just the bane of all Twitch streamers or YouTube streamers at the end of the day. I remember the first time I saw Les Sandwich out on track on a race I was commentating on. I kept calling him Les Sandwich. I don't know if it's something about how my brain works or if I was trying to be funny at the time. I'm not sure. So it's always stuck with me. Les Sandwich. And, if we see him ever at a French circuit, you know that I'm cracking that joke out at least once or twice more as we see a little bit of bouncing action, maybe a slight silent protest to my mispronunciation of his name. But Ferrari around here, tricky car to really wrangle in. The setup's not easy to do. Yes, it's MR. You'd expect it to be sort of similar pace to the McLaren, and some drivers can get it there, but you end up with a very, very loose rear end, and they usually like to have a higher TC setting on the Ferrari for most tracks, but here you need to run it low.
Yeah, you need to keep it super low, and it doesn't really favour the curves well when you do that. The ride height. But speaking of ride height, you can look how low these BMWs are sitting as well. Nothing really favours the curves at this circuit, because to extract any of the pace out of it, you need the car as low to the ground as possible to get the aerodynamics to really take effect, to help these cars flow through the corners. And these two, yet again, we are at a season finale. We are at a longer race. This is a 1-hour race, season finale, final round of the season. I'm getting flashbacks to last season when Simon Bishop was in the lead, Matt Dernedde was right behind him, line astern, and hopefully we see a different outcome. We've seen this at Spa as well this season, George. These guys, again, are just inseparable, and look at how close they are as they run down the front straight. He's got the lights flashing as well, just to add to it.
Oh, I don't know if he's doing a Fernando Alonso and watching himself on the stream that is inevitably being broadcast on the side of the racetrack for the 65,000 crowd that we have here digitally. But that was a great run through the final corner. Got a really good wide line entry. Released the brakes beautifully there by Matt Dernedde and allowed him to sweep in and try that. It's a little bit of a cutback. It wasn't a full cutback. He just slotted in behind Simon Bishop and just put the power down. But, equal machinery, there was probably very little chance he was going to have a good nose or so, or even half a car in front of Simon Bishop as he rolled into turn 1. And he stayed close this lap. So the question is, as we come into turn 8, is there going to be a bit of a lunge? I don't think Matt Dernedde is the risk-taker type.
Matt Dernedde is not necessarily the risk-taker type. He likes to bide his time. We saw him. He will take a risk when he needs to. We saw that at Spa. If he needs to dive down the inside to make that last-minute pass, that last lap pass, he will do it. But he just likes to try and force people into mistakes. Simon Bishop, he's not one to make too many mistakes, though we've seen a couple from him this season. It's been a little bit out of character from him. Maybe he was just getting a little bit comfortable behind the wheel of this car. We know he's probably looking for a challenge next season, as is Matt Dernedde. There's a car change on the cards for the CP Motorsports, and what car will they pick? I don't know, but we do know, as a result of that interview earlier today, that it is unfortunately for you, George Cook, not the McLaren. I have heard that the Aston Martin has been floated around, the return to the Aston for Matt Dernedde. The Ford Mustang is also being floated around, the Ferrari. I think he's just going to throw every single car out there and then just see if something sticks.
Maybe a magic 8-ball somewhere in there, or a roll of a 20-sided dice. We'll see. I mean, it'll be interesting to see what he wants to use. Obviously, Matt Dernedde has a big attitude towards learning, in a good way, I should clarify. So obviously he'll be keen to jump into a new bit of machinery and see what he can do with that. And I think that's one of the great things, when you're learning how to drive. That's a wide line for Simon Bishop, and this is getting really, really close between the two drivers. The flashing indicating, of course, that he's going to try a bit of a send. Simon Bishop brakes late, goes deep into turn 8, and now they'll get this run through 9-10. So yeah, turn 8, unlikely place to be doing a lunge unless just side by side through Nieto, turn 6, as you come out onto that back straight. But I tell you what, it's that learning attitude. If you want to learn how to drive, your best bet is to drive lots of different cars. Some people will say, choose one thing, stick with it. And, you should do that. If you're just getting into sim racing, stick with one car for a period of time. Do your research, get familiar with how things are set up, but then start to diversify, because it really brings things together.
And that's what Matt Dernedde has been really good at. Same as this man in the screen, Max Silva. These guys started with what they knew. Matt Dernedde with the Aston Martin, Max Silva with the Ferrari. And then coming into this season, they've just been able to adapt, learn different cars. Max wanted to challenge himself for his first full campaign in AGT and run something that was fast if you got it right and was rewarding. As Riley Nicholson now has a drive-through as well. So the drive-through is starting to come. We're only 20 minutes into this race, George, and drive-throughs are starting to come through, which is frustrating, but Max Silva, Riley Nicholson even as well, has tried a few different cars here and there. I know he's a big fan of the Aston Martin, but it's nice to see some of these guys starting to adapt to the process and start to try and find different cars. And I know it's being floated around a lot, who's going to drive what next season. This is Wayne Tanner right behind Bowen Piper. So this is the AM class leader trying to get that championship. There's Riley Nicholson serving his drive-through. He'll come out behind this group. Josh Struick, though, 25th, but crucially has served his final pit stop, the only required pit stop. That cloud cover starting to come over, George. Could we see a little bit of rain before the end of this race? I have my fingers crossed.
You can cross your fingers as much as possible. We'll find out in 7 minutes and 18 seconds or so. I'm crossing my fingers and toes as well. To be honest, it'll provide a great little shake-up to the finale of Season 2. But I tell you what, this is clever. This is exactly what I would have been doing and thinking in Struick's position, and not to, rub my own ego too much here. But this is a smart move by Struick. Now, it's coincided beautifully with the cooling down of the track. We started at 34 degrees Celsius track temperature. Now we're at 31. The cloud cover has come over. So doing the long stint at this point is good, because you're going to get cooling temperatures, which means the grip is going to be minimized. The grip loss, I should say, is going to be minimized towards the end of the race. If it was going to be 34 degrees Celsius burning hot all the way to the end, well, then the longest strategy, when you pit early and go for a second longer stint, it starts to really fall away from you, and it puts you in a position where any kind of undercut that you're attempting sort of neutralizes itself at the end of the day. So Struick gets himself into clean air. He gets a fresh set of boots after making a lot of overtakes. I believe he was up to P10, so had made up 5 positions at least in the early part of this race. And now he gets to go long. He gets to get his head down, put in these really, really solid laps, and just focus on the race that's in front of him, which is going to not include any cars on track for at least some period of time. He'll be out there for the entire rest of the race, so about a 42-minute stint or thereabouts.
It's a long time to be on those tyres, especially in the Mustang as well. The Mustang likes to chew through the tyre. So if you can drive it correctly, you can look after it. I know I've done long stints on a Mustang tyre where the tyre can hold on quite well. As we see a bit of a change of position there between these guys on screen. But you need to just be sort of open and aware of what the tyre is doing, how much it's working, because if you overwork it too quickly, get too much heat, too much pressure in them, you will just burn through that grippy surface that it has on it, and then all of a sudden you've got no tyre left. So I know Josh Struick is a very seasoned operator. He's great at looking after a tyre, and that is what he'll be trying to do at this stage of the race, just to make sure that he has something left when he gets to the end. But you've got to do something in order to catch these guys at the front. You've got to be different somehow, and this is what he's doing to just try and separate himself a little bit, because these two are just pushing each other along at the front at the moment. We've got Max Silver, though, closing up on Josh Green, so sitting 7th and 8th on the road at the moment. Max Silver, he will want to try and get as many positions as he can. He's still not doing enough to get that championship over Adam Gray, but he will want to do everything he can, because if something happens to Adam Gray, the higher Max Silver is, the better off he'll be for trying to take that.
Yeah, and look, this is why the undercut is so strong at this track. What you want to be doing is getting clean air, running in the dirty air here. I mean, it's basically a circuit that is full of low and medium speed corners. So you're really leaning very heavily on the aero, as we see a Mercedes taking a stage right exit and the stage left re-entry. Very interesting move there. I think that was Shepard's. So you really want to be focusing on what you can do with an undercut. I'd be very surprised if we didn't see Simon Bishop maybe pulling the trigger first. Matt Dernedde could have a stroke of genius here and do the same. But a couple of extra laps when you've got that clean air, if they can time it right and come out when there's no cars around, you can really find yourself with a big, big advantage. We see there, Isaac, your team is peeling off into the pit lane, as is a Mercedes. So they're going to be jumping into the pits. It's going to be Henderson. And who else was it? I can't actually see that on the track map. There it is. We go. Boyd in the pits. We've also got Griffin, who's been sitting in there since the beginning of the race. Not quite sure what's happened there, but he's been in there for 9 laps or thereabouts. And Lee as well. So technically speaking, a 30-car race at the moment on track. And the pit stops will start to feed in now. I get the feeling that we'll see... I think it'll be Simon Bishop pulling the trigger early.
I think it will have to be. I feel like I'm getting deja vu from the last round last season, where I spoke about how if Matt Dernedde wants to win this race, he needs to undercut Simon Bishop. The undercut here will serve him well, and he needs to do it soon. If he just follows Simon Bishop in, or he overcuts, it will not yield him the result that he thinks the result that he will want. If he wants to win this race, he needs to undercut, and he'll need to pull the trigger soon, because Simon Bishop, he won't wait. He'll just do it as soon as he's ready. He won't say, oh, I'll wait for Matt Dernedde to go first and then I'll go into the pits. He will go as soon as he is ready. So Matt Dernedde needs to pull that trigger soon. We've got 32 minutes to go in the final race of this season. It has been an absolutely incredible season, a stupendous season, a spectacular season, all the superlatives this season has been. There's been non-stop action, all of it brought to you in partnership with Adrenaline GT and TrackSpotTV. They are becoming very quickly a leading force in broadcasting for sim racing right across Australia, New Zealand, and even the world. If you want to get yourself involved, head to www.trackspot.tv, and I don't think it was trackspot.tv, I believe, actually, and sign up over there. If you're a league that's looking for broadcasting, if you're a commentator, you're watching this and you're thinking, I'd like to get in the booth and have a go at this, make sure you head on over, let us know. We've got plenty of series for you to jump in and have a go in. Let us know in the chat as well. If you're watching along at home, what you're thinking so far. I know there's plenty of you out there at the moment watching and tuning in, so let us know who you're cheering for. Is the Matt Dernedde cheer squad watching along? Big shout out to Luke and his father-in-law and their family. They're all watching along, I'm sure. They set up in the theatre room, as Matt mentioned earlier. We've got the Hendersons and Nitro's mum watching along on their TV at home, and I believe we have Machen's wife likes to watch along as well on the television. It's great to see so many people getting involved, and make sure you let us know where you're watching from, because we love to hear just where you are right across Australia and New Zealand, or even the world, because we have drivers that come from all over. We know Takax, one of our key drivers, well, not one of our key drivers, one of our staple drivers. He's well known in this series, typically drives the BMW, the McDonald's livery BMW. He's umpiring for the ICC today, a international T20 of Hungary versus Serbia. So congratulations to him, and very exciting to be umpiring that game. And we've got 00 Raven watching along from Scotland. Raven, we miss you very much. Obviously was in the commentary box with us last season, George, for season 1 action. Haven't been able to get him in the commentary box this season. Maybe we'll get him back for season 3, who knows, but glad that he's tuning in at home and watching along.
for sure. He's the man with the golden mic, and he's a voice that is unmistakable. That is for sure. And his passion for sim racing is untold of. Well, he definitely tells us about it, actually, to be completely correct. But yes, one of the lead broadcasters, of course, Double O Raven at RavenComms and at TrackSpotTV. He's a voice recognized all the way around the world. Glad to have him in. I need to go and have a chat with that man at some point soon anyway. But we've got, instead, we've got an Australian voice in a British accent here. So, you know, I think that works out relatively well. A little bit of a battle going on as we see at the moment. The current race leaders going to be Elzine and Burrows, still with a pit stop to make, as with Horvath and Hammond. So Simon Bishop and Dernedde are in. No weather on the horizon, Isaac. 30 minutes now ticked over. So it doesn't seem like your rain dance in that nice... hula skirt has not worked out, unfortunately, today. Maybe we'll get it back out for season 3 and we'll give it another shot then.
Well, I'm going to have to take the hula skirt off, unfortunately, which is a shame. No one gets to see it because there's no rain for me to do it. I've tried my rain dance. It didn't work. We'll try again next season. But yeah, crucially, Matt Dernedde... No cameras.
No cameras in the commentary box.
Thankfully, there's no cameras in the commentary box. But Matt Dernedde, he came in on the same lap. And so we just talk about racing for a second. There was a few cars on track, I should point out. But we've got a lot of cars that have now begun to serve those stops. So only a handful left to come into the lane if they're not already. Adam Elzine now comes pits, which leaves Anthony Burrows out there inheriting the race lead. Frank Horvath still yet to stop. James Hammond also still yet to stop. Frank Horvath's now in, so it just leaves 2. And then there were 2, George Cook. There's one BMW and one for a drive-through for Les Sandwich for track limits. So another victim of the track limit penalties. And I've been told that it is worse than Circuit of the Americas here, which is a bold claim, I think, considering how many drivers get drive-throughs at Circuit of the Americas, but it does have that feel to it with these track limits, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, look, there's a handful of tracks. You can probably count them on one hand that are really, really nasty in terms of the track limits. You know, Red Bull Ring comes to mind as we see a very yellow Mercedes coming out of the pits and rejoining just behind the battle that's on screen right now between Green, Henderson and Struick. And Struick, this undercut of his hasn't really worked out, though he is technically up by about 2 positions as a result of the early pit stop. Barton is around.
Oh, no. That is massive. He's facing the wrong way, so that has been a difficult race for Highland Motorsport in the 91 and the 53 car. And that is not good. Will he dive in? No, it looks like he's got away with no damage there, so he'll stay out. Let's see, with still yet to serve his drive-through, and Nitro's mum, they're watching from Perth, WA, so all the way on the other side of the country. Feels like so far away when you look at the distance to get there, but yeah, they're loving the live stream and the fantastic commentary, even if it's competing with F1s, and we're honoured that you're choosing us over the F1 if you are, because there's probably some action going on over there at Zandvoort, but there's plenty of action happening here at Valencia at the moment. There's non-stop action here happening at Valencia, and Double O Raven has said that there's no competition. This wings all day long and twice on Sunday.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, look, we may aspire to be Formula One here in the commentary box at TrackSpotTV. We set our targets in amongst the stars, or shoot for the moon is what they say, because you'll land amongst the stars. That's the way it is, I think it is. But yeah, look, I mean, I saw the notification come up on my calendar saying, oh, the F1's on, here we go, move from the 47, but the big defense from the Ferrari. But I tell you what, it's just practice. So, I think we're just going to be seeing a very dull sort of practice. It'll still be interesting, of course. The guys there, so much information, so much history and legacy at Formula One, but you're building that up here at AGT as well. Second season, only 73 more years to go before you catch up to Formula One.
only a few more years to go. It's easy. We'll just crank out a few more seasons, and we'll be right there up there with them, I'm sure. But no, it's been great. Josh Struick, though, I've just noticed up to 10th place as well, so he is still on a charge. And those tyres, wondering how much life they have left in him. He's not too far away from Brayden Henderson.
Certainly is. I think this will still work out. From the track is continuing to cool, overcast conditions. You see the wind is picking up a little bit. It's not going to affect most of the drivers, only 2 kilometers per hour. But 30 degrees Celsius now on track, 26 ambient, and this will start to slowly swing back towards Struick's way. But Henderson is no slouch. He's not going to let the name behind him put any extra additional pressure. He's just got to focus on his own race. A few mistakes in the 30-minute for Henderson in the 877. And I'm sure he's thinking to himself, look, I just want to have a clean race. I just want to not make these same mistakes. And that'll allow him to get a really clean and calm mindset. If he keeps that mindset, well, Stewart with older tyres is going to present pretty much no challenge. So let's see what happens. 0.8 of a second is the gap at the moment. So we see the Ferrari pull out of the way of our two leaders who are going to retake the lead very, very soon in this race. 0.5 seconds is the gap. And you know what? I think there might just be a super magnet on the back of Simon Bishop's car and a super magnet with the reverse poles on Dernedde's car, something like that. But I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the apple. Is Simon Bishop staring at the apple that Matt Dernedde has mounted in his front windshield?
It could be. I don't know. Maybe he's distracting him. Maybe he was flashing the lights earlier. So maybe he's just trying to throw Simon Bishop off a little bit to keep him distracted. But these guys have been inseparable. We have a poll up now for driver of the day. It only gives us 4 options, so we've tried to pick some of the standout performances from today. We've got Simon Bishop, who currently leads this race. We've got Matt Dernedde, who won the first race in his second. Remember, Simon Bishop had that brilliant comeback drive in the first race as well. Josh Struick, who drove through the field to finish second and currently sits 9th. And Max Silva, who won the Pro-Am class in the first race and is sitting in that position at the moment, doing everything he can to try and take out that Pro-Am championship. So get your votes in. If there's someone else you think it should be, let us know in the chat, because we'd love to know. It only gives us 4 options. We can only pick 4 drivers. It was super hard just to pick 4, but let us know who your driver of the day is. Vote for one of them, or let us know someone else in the comments. Now, this man on screen, though, Bob Norley, he's also had a very strong performance today. He's chasing down Sheppers at the moment, and he's had a difficult season, an up and down season. He was in the box seat but missed the TrackSpotTV challenge at Bathurst. Didn't finish at the Nordschleife after a difficult race, which meant he also scored no points there, which set him back in terms of his championship. But he still finished 3rd in class, which I think is an incredible effort.
Certainly is, and he's got Sheppers ahead of him. Looks like he's taken a few good lines at the moment, looking after the tyres nicely. Through 5 we go, and now down towards turn 6. If he gets the braking zone here right, we see Sheppers. So that is the Aston Martin that is blue flagged ahead of him. I think that might have been Gordon. He'll be moving out of the way in short order, I'm sure. Sheppers taking some really nice lines, though, as well. So between him and Norley, they're both driving really comfortably at this stage of the race, and it might get a little bit more heated as we head through the last 22 minutes. Still a little bit of time for Silva to escape the clutches of Norley and Adam Gray. 3 seconds is the gap between Norley and Gray at the moment, but it's what positions, how many positions they have between them that is really going to count. And as you said before, if things are staying as they stand right now, Sheppers having a big moment on the sausage at turn 12.
That was heart and mouth stuff. I could feel the change of pants required, change of race suit required for Sheppers as he went over that sausage curb and almost lost the car. He's done well to catch that. I am noticing Burrows, Gordon are quite close to Hutton at the moment. So 16th, 17th and 18th, they're pretty close to fighting over a bit of real estate through the final corner. This is a battle that's starting to shape up down the field between some very experienced operators. Burrows, he's been here since the very start. Gordon, he knows his way around a weight race wheel, behind the wheel of a car. He knows what to do. Niff, as we mentioned, Hutton, he's on a controller, but he's certainly no stranger to finding some pace. And both guys in Aston Martin and the Ford for Burrows, that's where he feels most comfortable in that Ford Mustang. And I think he hasn't really had the pace this season. He does feel comfortable in the car, but I just don't think he's been able to click with these circuits the way he would have wanted to, and I think he will have to regroup before next season. But the Mustang, really stick with it? Who knows? That's the question that everyone's going to ask when we head into this off-season. Will people stick with the car they've got, or will they change it? I'm sure, George, you'd love to see, as James Hammerman comes in the lane, you'd love to see a McLaren series.
Oh yeah, give me one make McLaren series any day of the week. I'll be absolutely happy for that. Machin is actually still doing relatively well, though he's got Carter right on his rear wing. So this is going to be a bit of a scary moment for Fleming. He will actually retake 3rd position. So this is the battle for the podium right now. Fleming wasn't able to keep up with the top 2. There's quite a distance between him and Dernedde. So unlikely for him to be able to push to a 2nd or a 1st place finish, but if he can hold on to a 3rd place, he'll be pretty happy. I'm not sure if Isaac or the Admin team will be as happy about that. But just goes to show the McLaren's got some good pace around here. And, you know, just looking back as well to the Aston Martin, quick comment on that, the 47 looked like he's sliding around the track at this point. So I think Hutton is kind of pushing the car a little bit too much. Burrows is going to have a really good opportunity very, very soon to make an overtake. Gordon is in there as well, just biding his time. And if he's able to make that overtake, well, we'll probably see it rather sooner than rather later at the end of the day. So keep an eye on that. But when you start to overdrive the car, even at 30 degrees Celsius and overcast, the tires will run away from you. When that starts happening, you're going to go sideways. You're not going to get the grip you need through most of these corners. Turn 2, not an issue. 4, 5, definitely an issue. 6, you're going to start running wide there. 8's going to feel like you're skating on ice. Through into 11. 11's just going to feel like it lasts for absolutely ever before you can put the power on. Otherwise, you're going to spinning the car if you go too early. 12 always feels like you're about to send yourself to the International Space Station. So it is one of those things, you let the tires get away from you. Valencia really teaches you how to be a conservative race driver because you have to be.
Yeah, you really do at this circuit have to be. I've only done limited laps here. It's one of the circuits that I don't have that much experience on, but the laps I have driven, even trying to drive it in anger, you still have to be conservative. Conservative driving around here will reward you with pace. It seems counterintuitive to a lot of drivers. It goes against our nature just to push the car to the absolute limit and drive it as hard as we can, but there are times where you find that not the slower you drive, but the easier you take the corners, you gently turn the car in to make sure it makes it to the apex rather than just trying to push it as hard as you can and maybe running a bit wide. It favors the lap time. You'll find yourself going green. You feel like you're going slower, but you're actually going faster. So that's what our drivers are currently battling with. Where can they extract the lap time? They see a car in front of them. There's the carrot dangling there. They want to push to catch up, but that in turn means that their lap time starts to suffer.
Oh yeah, at AGT, it's the Apple Gran Turismo League, of course, as everyone knows. So you don't dangle carrots, you dangle apples. Turns out anything to do with Matt Dernedde turns into the Apple League. Turns out we're gonna continue to take this joke as far as we possibly can before someone actually makes a formal complaint. So we'll see. Struick is up into P7 as we look around the grid, and the 33 car in the Ford looking pretty healthy at the moment. We do have a yellow flag that is not on track. That is currently in the pit lane, so not sure who that is or why that's happening, but with 17 minutes left in this race, the drivers will be looking at their warnings for for track limits. They'll be wondering if they're going to make it. They're going to be thinking, oh, do I need to be a little bit more conservative on these corners? Certainly Struick is not thinking that. He's pushing to the limit, wants to keep up with Henderson, but this gap has evolved. So Henderson is actually driving away from Struick, and a lot of that is going to come down to the grip. Now, Struick is up 3 positions, Isaac, so he's definitely had a benefit from the undercut that he's performed. He pitted about 20 minutes or so into this race and is running a 40-minute stint, but you get these waves of grip that come and go with the tyres. I feel like Struick may have a late charge somewhere, might have a little bit left in the tank towards the end of this race, but he's certainly not able to keep up with Henderson at the moment, who has just been, the gap's been coming up and down, to be fair, through Sector 2. It looks like Struick has definitely got the pace on Henderson. But, through the first corner, through the main straight, the last corner, does look like it's Henderson's game.
It does not look like it is Henderson's game at all, which is it does look like Henderson's game, which is super good for Henderson. Not great for Struick, but he has a lot of work to do if he wants to get second place in this championship anyway. Simon Bishop, huge moment. That is a huge moment. He's off the track. He has caught it. He will get back on ahead of Josh Green. He had a healthy gap, but you can just see he's just trying to push that car as hard as he can. I was going to make comment that Simon Bishop is still leading this race. So at the moment, all this effort is in vain from Josh Struick unless something happens to Simon Bishop, which it doesn't look likely to. Again, this man does not make too many mistakes, and when he does, he makes sure that he come back swinging even harder, the next time. So he's not going to make the same mistake twice. He made a mistake in race 1. It cost him down the field, and he's not going to do the same thing here again. He's leading this race quite comfortably from Matt Dernedde, who's dropped off now. So for Josh Struick, it seems to be he's put in a lot of effort, but that qualifying position's really hurt him.
How much work does Struick have to do? Is it extra now, Isaac? I think we can call that a commentary curse. He's just talking about how much work he had to do, and then he drives off the track and he's like, well, no, he's got more work to do. Well, I don't know where that came from. Someone might have said something in the commentary box. Anyway, before I throw you under the bus, no way, doesn't work like that. For the normal mind, it doesn't work like that. For the superstitious, have at it, go for it. We do have a battle that has been evolving between Fleming, Matchin, and Carter is now only 0.7 behind. So this has given me deja vu. I'm getting flashbacks to about lap 3.
I am getting flashbacks to lap 3. I'm getting flashbacks to a number of times throughout this season that we've seen these three. Usually it's Norm in the BMW. This time he's in a McLaren, so it's a little bit of a different look, but it's the same feel. And we'll see what happens here. The battle for the podium is going to start to close in with these three, the two Mustangs, the two TTR boys trying. Up the inside. I just caught that. They're very close-up camera angle there, and they are side by side through 3 into 4 now. Norm having a little plane. Does he get? Oh, he holds the nose a little bit. He'll have to give room there. A little bit of a touch on the exit, and that is going to open up for Carter to drive past Machin. Machin probably won't be too thrilled about that little tap on exit. But in saying that, that is now a positional loss for James Machin. Cameron Fleming holds on to third for now, and it's going to hand over to the other TTR car to try and get past, but they don't want to push this too hard, I would suggest, because they do want a podium. You want the bragging rights, but they've got a teams championship to think about, and they're trying to secure second in the teams.
Yeah, let's break that down a bit, of course, as well. So it did look like it was Machin or Carter. One of them sent a bit of a move in turn 2. It did cause contacts between them and the McLaren, so you could argue that the cutback move that Fleming did was a bit of tit for tat. But to be fair as well, I mean, he ran pretty deep into turn 5, so very, very tricky to call that one. The stewards will have to do a little bit of thinking and consult the rule book on it, but it's even Stevens back to where it was, except it is, I think, Carter was, in fact, up ahead of Machin. Oh, no, correct me if I'm wrong, it was Machin just behind Fleming. So whichever way it was a Ford, so we can definitely say that for sure, and it was a Ford that absolutely centered at turn 2. A big dive down the inside, and you've got to be very careful doing that. You've got to get the run through turn 1. You've got to be right there, and the braking zone is just so difficult, because if you throw it down the inside, Isaac, you're suddenly finding yourself with a really acute angle to have to take through that turn 2, and the car around the outside has got to turn in at some point, because it's a very tight exit.
And it's the same with turn 4. Turn 4 is pretty much a 90-degree corner, so it's super difficult to try and get any sort of move going there up the inside, because the corner really tightens. There's a lot of corners around here that after the apex, the corner just tightens more. So it's very difficult to go side by side around here, and the fact that they've been able to do that so cleanly with only minimal contact is commendable for all 3 of these drivers. But now it seems that they're starting to lose touch a little bit. Nick Carter just doesn't have the pace to find his way past Cameron Fleming at this stage, or is it a little bit of biding his time? There's still 11 minutes left in this race, so plenty of time to get past. They're catching a lap car in front. It is a Ferrari. I believe it's the Ferrari of Griffin, maybe. I'll see the number on the side in a second. They are catching a Ferrari who will get out of the way, so shouldn't hold them up too much. But this is, I don't think Braden Henderson has the pace to catch them at the moment, but I would say if he was flying at the moment, it would not be helping the cause, but he's about 10 seconds back, so he's not close enough, I think, if these 3 keep going, to make any inroads.
No, and the tricky thing for the McLaren here is that they are slow on the straight, so every single time from now on to the end of the race, he's going to have to be defending that inside line, and there's another opportunity here, but no. See, that's the thing, the tight apex, the tight exit of turn 2, if you're trying around the outside, good luck. So all Fleming needs to do, he knows he's got the pace disadvantage here. His car's not as quick on the straight as these Fords, who are absolute monsters with the top end, despite the bop coming in and really giving them quite a hefty bop to make them a bit more competitive. in terms of reducing their competitiveness, I should say, to make it a bit fairer for all the other manufacturers out there on the grid. The McLaren still suffers with its top speed, and you can adjust for that, but at a circuit like this, you ramp it up for maximum downforce. That's why you're seeing Fleming so quick at the apex. That's why he pulls away from these guys, and the gap goes from, it was basically zero gap into turn 2, now finds its way back up to half a second as we go through the infield section. The low, medium speed corners are where the McLaren absolutely thrives. And then as long as he gets a decent enough run, and doesn't have a Ford side-by-side with him into the entry of turn 1, the first left-hand kink, then he should be pretty safe. But it looks like a good run for Carter this time, but I'm not sure if it's going to be enough.
No, I'm not sure if it is either, and it's going to be difficult to try and make a move onto turn 1 because you've got, until this point, just here, you've got a yellow flag out. So getting side-by-side on the front straight is very nerve-wracking, because if you do go alongside, the game will penalise you if you drive past them under yellow flags. So you've got to be very careful of that. This game is very strict. The stewards do not mess around. Adam Gray, though, he's closing in on the back of Sheppers, I'm noticing as well. So we've got this battle going on for the back end of the podium. But the back end of the Pro-Am podium is also just as much alive. Adam Gray within a second of Andre Sheppers, 11th and 12th on the road. But this will be crucial for Adam Gray. He's doing well at the moment, doing what he needs to do to take out this Pro-Am Championship, but it'd be nice to get a podium to go with it.
Yeah, again, the Fords grace the presence on our screens, and Ford is a strong contender around here. Some have been able to extract the pace, and looks like the 30-30 strategy, the two equal stints of equal length, is going to benefit the Fords more. As he said earlier in the stream, Isaac, they burn up their rear tyres. They're not great on that side of things, even with the weight reduction that they have been given as part of the balance of performance. That's the BOP that we were talking about a few moments ago. And the Mercedes advantage is going to be just launching that front end into these corners and just pedaling down and running away with it. And looks like they're even enough in terms of the pace that there's not really an opportunity here for Gray to find his way past Sheppers. And we've seen Sheppers drive all the way throughout the season. He's a heavily defensive-focused driver. He does make some really good overtakes, but he knows very well how to overtake. He's able to give these other drivers space and then find his way back through. So you might have assumed there that Gray was about to go side-by-side with him, and he was for a second, but Sheppers used that car's positioning beautifully, lined it up, got the power down, and then ended up immediately ahead again.
Yeah, and that's the differing lines we're seeing at this circuit is quite interesting, in how people are extracting the pace out of the car. As we got Wood and Hutton. I believe Hutton's just lost a couple spots there. He has a little bit of a look on the one into turn 1. Does Adam Gray, but he's not close enough this time to make anything happen. We've got a couple battles happening up and down the field though, and this is Hutton right in behind Horvath and Wood, and I believe that was a recent position change, so maybe a mistake somewhere for Nathan Hutton, because he was in 16th place. So that is a loss for Nathan Hutton, a bit of work to do to get back up the field. Matt Boyd as well, he's close to Wayne Tanner. That's the AM class lead. Don't be fooled by Wood, Hammond and Shepherd all having the red next to their name. They're not actually AM drivers, they are reserve drivers. But this is the battle for the AM class lead, and Wayne Tanner looks like he will wrap up the AM class championship this season if things finish how they are right now, because he's ahead of both Matt Boyd and Ian Stewart.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Nice to see another three-way battle between the three people at the top of their class championship. Certainly Boyd has been having an interesting race at this stage. He's only 1.4 seconds behind Tanner at the moment. So there's a big opportunity for him at this race, and I'm sure you'll be proud as the owner of Fogarty Motorsport to see your car end up in a good position. There's certainly a P2 is on in terms of class, so it'll be P3 in terms of class finish. Is it Shepherd and Hammond? Correct me if I'm wrong, those are not AM class drivers. These are the top three.
Correct. These are the top three. So Matt Boyd, he's a brilliant driver. He has struggled a little bit this season with car setup. Hasn't gone the way he would have wanted it to, which is disappointing. I am unfortunately disappointed to confirm that Fogarty Motorsport, as we know it, will not be returning to the grid for Season 3. It will look quite different when it comes back next season. I don't think Fogarty Motorsport will be the name of the team. So it'll look very different. but which is a shame because we had such a great season 1, and it's been a strong season 2 for our junior drivers, our end drivers, if you will. But with no flagship team, it has sort of just changed up a little bit and meant that we've had to revisit the structure and relook at how we run that team. And so something is in the works, but it will not be Fogarty Motorsport as we know it. But this battle, he sort of fell away a little bit, Matt Dernedde, for a while there from Simon Bishop, but he's just started to close back up towards the end of this race.
Will it be called the Novocations Incorporated? Anyway, before I completely derail this conversation. Yeah, exactly right.
We're hiring Nick Cartasso.
Yeah, that's right. We'll call the team the Sput.
Spuds.
That'd be classic. Yes, the battle continues, but look at this. Fleming has pulled 2 seconds on Matchin, who's got ahead of Carter.
Yeah, there you go. So that is a positional change for these two, and now they've lost contact with that third place. The podium with 4.5 minutes to go seems to not be a reality for these two anymore, and so now it will be sheep stations who can finish ahead. Bragging rights within the team. They're in a voice chat together. They'll be chatting away, and who can finish ahead out of the two TTR Westside boys to finish off this season. They should wrap up second in the team's championship, which will be a great result for them. Make sure, if you haven't already as well, get your votes in for Driver of the Day. We have 6 votes in. If there's someone in that poll, which is Simon Bishop, Matt Dernedde, Josh Druick, Max Hill, if there's someone in there that you think should be in there, there's someone that's not there that you think should, put it in the comments as your vote. Let us know who you're thinking, because we'd love to know. We'd love to get everyone's opinion on who their driver, their ultimate performer has been today. Shepard's having a little bit of a look at Adam Gray now, so this battle is going on as well. This is for the back end of the Pro-Am podium. The 22 car said he was 22 tenths away, and I think that is the positional change. So Adam Gray is now past Shepard's up onto the podium to give himself even more points in this race to lock down that Pro-Am championship, but it's not done yet because Shepard's is still right with him.
Certainly is, and there might be an opportunity into the final corner here as we head through 12 and 13. The inside line going to be strong, and that's very deep on the brakes for Andre Shepard. He's pulled it up beautifully at the apex though, but he's going to get a bit of a compromise run through the last corner, and I think you'll find that Gray will have the power to maybe make another maneuver either into turn 1, which you don't want to do at the moment, or turn 2. Yeah, does think better of it. That's the smart thing to do, and he's going to have the opportunity here. A bit of a wide run for Shepard. We'll see what's happening on track once they get through turn 2. Oh, they're so close on track.
They are so close at the moment, but I think Shepard just has the upper hand through this middle bit. He's just able to get more rotation out of the car. A drive-through for Nathan Lee. But yeah, just more rotation for Shepard, which is favouring him in this middle sector. Very late on the brakes, compromised his line through the final corner just to make the move, get track position. He knew the yellow flag was on the front straight, so if he was ahead, it was going to be difficult for Gray to pull alongside in that situation to avoid getting a penalty, and just use that. That was very smart racing, I think, from Andre Shepard to try and get back past. This is a man that has been racing for a long time. He knows his way around a race car. He's got a very high IQ racing brain, and just sort of, I think he would have used that to his advantage. I don't think anything there was accidental. It was all intentional, and which is great to see some battling going on at the back end of this race. We've got Bowen Piper and Mark Sinclair not too far away from each other either. They've gotten past. So Bowen Piper up to 20th place, Mark Sinclair, or 21st place, sorry, and Mark Sinclair back to 22nd. So that's the close to the front end of the top 20, but they're a fair way off James Hammond. We've got a minute and a half though to go, Trev. We're almost at the end of the race, almost at the end of the season. Don't tell me that it's over, because I really do not want it to be. It's been an amazing couple months of racing. I was going to say couple weeks, it's been an amazing couple months of racing, and we're seeing a very familiar sight to round it all off with these two, Matt Dernedde and Simon Bishop, pretty much inseparable. I think they'll have one more run at it after this.
Indeed, and since the name of Trev has been invoked, I guess I'll put on my Trevor Byers accent and go full Australian for you guys at the end of this race, because it has indeed, Isaac, been a fantastic season, and with 55 seconds now left on the clock, this is the last bit of the battle. Who's going to get the apple at the end of this one? I don't know.
On the final lap now. Give it all you can.
guys. Who is going to get the apple at the end of this one? That was a lovely Trevor impression. It was almost like he was in the commentary box with us. And Trev is very well known for missing his impressions tonight. But that it felt like he was right there with us, and he is right there with us. But unfortunately, just doing the broadcasting this evening, I'm sure he's absolutely loving that impression. But this is the final lap. This is where it all comes down to for Matt Dernedde. Can he get one on the outgoing champ? It's incumbent versus outgoing. Who will come out on top in this final race? Adam Elzine, another drive through on the final lap. And that is very frustrating. We'll have to take a 30-second penalty yet again. That's twice now. Both races today that's happened from Adam Elzine, but this is where we have our eyes down towards turn 8 for the final time. Matt Dernedde trying to get the early apex to give himself the power on early, to give himself the run, I should say, through 9 and 10 towards 11, but it's just he's not close enough at this stage. Simon Bishop is doing what he needs to do. It's been a flawless run from our outgoing champion. He's had a bit of an up and down season, not the title defense he would have wanted. He would have loved to have been closer in the points, bringing this down to the final round, but he's still won plenty of races this season, shown plenty of pace. Matt Dernedde goes wide in the final corner, but it is going to be Simon Bishop, the reigning champion, will win the final race here at Valencia. Matt Dernedde, the incoming champion, finishes in second. Cameron Fleming in the McLaren will hold on for third place, and then it is going to be James Machin and Nick Carter, the TTR Westside drivers, finishing second place in the teams. Braden Henderson and Josh Strick threw everything at it today. This man came in late to the championship. He was a couple rounds down in the points, but it didn't let him slow it down. He's going to finish third overall, 7th in this race after starting 15th. A brilliant drive back through the field. And Max Silver, he threw everything at it, but it's just not enough. Adam Gray will cross the line to be your Pro-Am champion for Season 2. He had everything thrown at him in the last couple rounds, but he's kept his nerve, he's held on. He will cross the line for 4th in class, but first in the Pro-Am Championship. And Wayne Tanner, I'm not sure where he is on the circuit, if he's crossed the line yet. He hasn't, so we'll call him across the line. He's coming through turn 12 now. This man came into this last race of the season with 2 points clear of his teammate Ian Stewart. He had it all to do if he wanted to take out the AM Championship, and he has done exactly that. He will cross the line as your Season 2 Pro-Am champion. Congratulations, Wayne Tanner. What a drive, what a result from all of our drivers. And Nathan Lee is also, I see, being disqualified, which is not great to see, but what a result for all our drivers, what a result for the championships, and what a race.
If you're going to get disqualified, you might as well do it at the last race. Nonetheless, +1 apple for Simon Bishop. He finally gets it. So there we go. Matt Dernedde owes a fresh, beautifully grown apple to the likes of Simon Bishop, but it is beautiful to see those guys come across the line. 0.2 seconds between them. A former champion and the current champion side by side in a demonstration of how close this season has been.
Yeah, it's been super close, and I think it's been a testament to these two. We saw them go line astern pretty much the entirety of the end of last season, and pretty much all this season they've been pretty much inseparable, and it's been great to see the racing between these two, the respect that's shown as well. And Matt Dernedde, he will be super impressed with that, but Simon Bishop, he'll be happy to take the final race win of the season. He gets bragging rights at the end of the day. He won the last race of the season.
He did indeed, and you can take those bragging rights. You can launch yourself into Season 3 knowing that you won the last race of the season, and the fight back for our now former Season 1 champion is going to be an interesting one to see, and it'll certainly be the battle of who can get up to 2 championships first. We'll have a few other people jump in and really threaten to solidify their own name in Season 3, and we are looking forward very much to seeing the details of the season come out as soon as possible. What an absolutely brilliant bit of racing we've seen today at Valencia. Stunning standouts from many, many drivers and a much cleaner race. A few drive-through penalties here or there, But at the end of the day, it was some great door-to-door racing, and Valencia has been an absolutely brilliant place to bring the finale.
It was an absolutely brilliant track to bring the finale, and I think we did really well. We were nervous how the sprint feature was going to go here, but it's provided plenty of action. It's been really good to watch. Absolutely stellar driving from all of our drivers, and just wraps up what has been an amazing season. Just an incredible bit of motorsport these last 10 rounds, and I cannot wait to see what season 3 brings. And we're getting really stuck into the planning for that now. There's a lot of talk behind the scenes as what it's going to look like, and I can assure you we're cooking up some very exciting things.
Oh, I'm looking forward to seeing what that is, and who knows, we may be seeing some interesting tracks return. Come on, please can we have Nordschleife? I know that I'm the only person that seems to like it, but come on, it's a brilliant place to go racing.
It is a great place to go racing, and but I don't.
We might have lost Isaac for a moment there. I'm sure he'll be back in a few seconds' time. But nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, let us know how you felt about the season, how you felt about round 10, what you've witnessed today. Matt Dernedde is our season champion. Looks like CP Motorsports will be taking out the team's title as well. I don't think Josh Green will be as frustrated with the 60-minute race. He had a lot of good racing out there on track, so he'll be a happy team owner for the CP Motorsports area for ACC. So that's going to be great for them. They'll be absolutely stoked with that. I'm not sure if we're planning some more interviews for after this or not. I think we've got Isaac back in the commentary box. And we do not. Okay, so I will be leading proceedings for the time being until we get Isaac back in the commentary box with his microphone back into a position where he can actually talk. So again, a massive thanks to everyone who has been out there watching today. For those who've tuned in all season long, we love to hear the stories that you've been having the stream up on the big screen, watching as a family, supporting your sons or daughters or fathers or friends in their racing campaigns in a season that has really produced some absolutely epic racing. And we hope that you've enjoyed the broadcasting that has been brought to you by TrackSpotTV and RavenComms. Isaac Fogarty, of course, a big part of TrackSpotTV, and of course the main admin at AGT. A big thanks to all the admins in the background of Adrenaline GT for the hard work they've put in to produce a fantastic season of racing. A few people wanting a few of those tracks removed from the calendar, so we'll see if those are taken and put into account for the season following this one. But do let us know. Give us a like and a follow, of course, on the Adrenaline GT YouTube channel. If you've been over on the TrackSpotTV Twitch or YouTube, do give us a like and a follow over there. It is much, much appreciated as well. If you're keen to get in on AGT, links for the Discord are in there. Now we get to come to our driver of the day results. It does appear that Max Silva has pulled one off, so he is 14 votes total. Simon Bishop got 29% of the vote. Matt Dernedde got 21% of the vote. Unfortunately, 0% for Josh Struick, although I have to admit, I'll probably mark him as my driver of the day. Probably made the most positions out of everyone on the grid. And Max Silva, 50% of the vote. So he has done an incredible job today and impressed everyone on the stream as well. So it looks like we're being told that Isaac Fogarty's internet has completely died, and luckily it held on. It held on right to the end of the season, but his internet has said absolutely no thank you. So I'm not quite sure what the next proceedings are. We might get him to let us know in chat if there are going to be interviews or not. So I will double check and let you guys know. Feel free to stick around. Let us know your favorite moment of the 10 rounds of racing that we've seen here at AGT ACC. What was your favorite moment? Was it in the last race that we've just had here? Was it at Bathurst? Was it at Austria? Was it at Silverstone? Tell you what, that Silverstone race, I watched that and it was absolutely fantastic. So let us know in chat what your favorite part of the season has been. Reading out a few comments here. We have had Clayton chiming in and saying, thanks for your efforts, Foggy. Another stellar season. We might have to crowdfund them some better internet. Aussie Sim Racing 97 saying, well done all. Stone Harbour jumping in and saying, best results, woohoo! Yes, and big congratulations to yourself. Clayton's also saying, well done all, congratulations to the winners. TrackSpotTV saying, congrats to all the drivers, what a season. Nitro Racing jumping in saying, well done everyone. Thanks for an awesome season. Thank you for driving in the season as well. Duster coming into chat as well, saying, congrats, everyone. Awesome season. Absolutely loved it. Duster also saying Spain, a favourite race. Valencia, favourite track. There you go. There we go. It's a great place to come racing. And I think we might have Isaac back as the internet recovered. It held on for 10 rounds and right at the end said no thanks.
I don't know how this sounds. I'm hotspotting from my phone currently, which is arguably worse than the internet connection I had. But I don't know what's happened. Optus has said no more internet for you.
Dear.
It just luckily it gave up at the end of the race.
Well, I was going to say, like, it held on for 10 rounds, and right at the end of the season, it said, right, well, that's it. I've given you all I can give you, Isaac, and now I'm going. Bye. Nitro's mum in chat as well, who's been a staple talking point of the season, saying, awesome season of racing. Thank you all, and congrats to the winners with the checkered flag. Thank you very much for watching as well. We look forward to seeing you return to watching in Season 3 and all the other AGT broadcasts that are coming up as well. Wayne89 also saying, well done, everyone. So a whole bunch of comments in the chat. Isaac, everyone's loving it. Lots of likes coming on through, and thank you all, everyone, for tuning in. It's been brilliant.
Absolutely, it's been brilliant. We've loved everybody watching along at home throughout the season, showing their support. It's just been spectacular. I cannot thank you all enough for the support you've shown, getting in the chat every week, saying g'day, voting in our polls, letting us know what you think, letting us know where you're watching from. Been brilliant, and I know for a fact that Trev really appreciates it as well. Big shout out to Trevor Byers. It's been an absolute pleasure sharing the commentary box with him this season. He's been unwell tonight. Was a shame. I know he's really looking forward to this one, which is disappointing. But he's still here. He's in the booth with us. He just can't say anything, but he's here in spirit, and it's absolutely appreciated. All the hard work that he has put in to make sure that these events happen, that they were live streamed for you. And just really appreciate all his work and all your work as well, George. There's so much work that goes in behind the scenes to make this stuff happen, and all the work that you and TrackSpotTV have put in has been second to none.
Thank you very much, Isaac. Yeah, it's a privilege to be commentating and broadcasting races that are such a high quality. So when you get a bunch of great drivers performing incredibly well throughout a 10-round series, there is only one answer to say, do you want to carry on broadcasting it? And that is yes. Honestly, it has been absolutely fantastic. We jumped in the end of Season 1. We've been here for the whole of Season 2. It's been great fun to put together the look and feel for the AGT ACC broadcasts, and I hope that everyone has been enjoying that. Of course, if you are interested in getting broadcasting for your league, or if you want to join I'm being a little bit biased here, but a very professional and legendary broadcasting team that we're building here at TrackSpotTV. We're a global service. You can check us out, www.trackspot.tv. We do all platforms of racing, so if you want to stream BeamNG or Crash Team Racing, let us know. We'll probably be able to do it.
Yeah, I think you guys could do anything. I can't wait for the TrackSpotTV Mario Kart series. We'll have to get on that one, I think, because
absolutely.
That's going to provide some excellent racing. But just make sure whatever you do, you always come back to watch our racing, because if this is what we've produced, then this is Season 3. Our Porsche Cup series is coming up. It's going to be even better.
Absolutely right. Isaac, you put on a fantastic season. I think a big thanks needs to go out to yourself as well for putting the effort in. You've been diving into the technical server room and freezing his hands off a number of times, and dealing with internet that is, I'm not going to say subpar, but subpar. It's been causing a few issues, but you've been wading through the mud, mate. And honestly, I think all the drivers will owe you a big thanks.
Yeah, I appreciate that. It's been a difficult season. There's certainly been a few headaches, but we got there in the end, and we've yielded a good result. So it's been great, and well, that'll do it. So thank you very much, George, for jumping in the booth for this final race today. It's been a pleasure to have you alongside me.
Pleasure, absolutely. Thank you very much, and thank you very much, everyone, for watching. And we'll hopefully you'll hear me soon.
Hopefully. Well, make sure you go and check out some more of the stuff that we've been doing here at TrackSpot if you want to hear more of George or myself or any of the other commentators we have here. But For now, that'll do it. We are going to sign off for one final time this season. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much to TrackSpot for all the support. Thank you to everyone that has tuned in at any point throughout the season. Type something in the chat, like the video. We really appreciate your support as always. We will see you on the 19th of September for round 1 of the Porsche Carrera Cup Series. But until then, as always, I've been Isaac Fogarty. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.